Bearcat Bounce Podcast, back at it again. Happy Monday. Happy Monday of week 1. Happy Monday, football is back. Happy Monday, the Bearcats are back. Happy Monday, see you at Nippert on Saturday, Monday. Happy Monday, because I am simply happy. That's right, it's Monday. It is Monday with college football back, the greatest time of the year. Wake up this morning, a little bit of chill, a little bit of fall in the air, even though it's going to ramp back up to the 90s later on this week and into the next week. But hey, still, it is football, baby. It is back. Year 1 of Coach Scott Satterfield, year 1 of the Big 12, year 1 and only one of Emery Jones at quarterback, year 1 for plenty of different things that we're going to all dive into in year 1, of course, as we welcome in the Eastern Kentucky Colonels to Nippert Stadium, 3:30 p.m. on Saturday. So, hey, it's another Monday where I'm going to bring in my guys, my pals, all 1, 2, 3, only one of them so far. The other two, they will be coming here very soon. But without further ado, we're kicking it back old school, back to the roots, episode 150. Aaron Smith, how are we?
I'm doing all right. Early start to my day with the baby waking me up a little bit earlier than normal, and we've been grinding ever since. So it's been a long day. I'm a little tired, but
okay. I think in a way she gave you like a goo goo gaga, like she was speaking in baby talk, but telling you, hey, Aaron,
new word today. New word today. I said, "You want a banana?" She said, "Nana." That was new. Like she's talking all over the place.
She might be saying
we're not
natty.
Yeah, we're not
Cincinnati. Like wake up, Dad. It's game week. Wake up, Dad. Come on.
She says, "Hi, Dad," all the time. Yeah.
Hi, Dad. It's game week.
Yeah.
Wake up. Football's back. But yeah, how was the weekend other than that? Did you catch in some week 0 action? Did you see Marcus Freeman take down the old triple option again, and USC and Caleb Williams throw the ball all over while not being able to stop? I don't know stop a nosebleed against old San Jose State, or are we kind of just holding it all in and waiting for this weekend?
I had 2 fantasy football drafts. One was in person in Florence, and so I drove just for that, and then back right after.
Whoa.
And then I also mowed the lawn. And when you're cutting 4 acres, that's not a short cut. So no, I didn't no, I'm riding. Get out of here. But yeah, I didn't. I'm sitting on a mower. What are you talking about?
Oh, you're riding it. I thought you were.
Yeah. No, hell no. 4 acres? Get out of here. Yeah, no. So I was unable to take in any football with kids and baseball tournaments, and we got fall ball going on for both kids, both boys. So
I tell you what, I don't think I could ever be as invested in a UMass versus New Mexico State game that I was this past Saturday, and here we are. But luckily, week 0 is done. Luckily, Cincinnati football is back, and road trips we'll be having, and people will be driving to take in the action at Nippert. And say you leave early enough, and a little bit of frustration kicks in, and you have a little bit of car issues. Hurry over to Danco Transmission and Auto Care. Big shout out to our man Danco Joe. He's going to get you fixed up. Get $10 off an oil change. Maybe get the oil change throughout the week this week, so you can be ready for the entire season. A lot of fun here. Everywhere, Nippert Stadium, going to Pittsburgh the week following, you're gonna be in the car. You're gonna need it fixed up. You can also get 10% off any fixing over $100 and make sure that you can have yourself all fixed up at Danco Transmission and Auto Care. Shouts, of course, to Danco Joe. He fired me over a hat. I'm pumped about it. Gonna rock it. Gonna roll it, and be always transitioned here to have our man Danco Joe, and just like that, our other man Ryan Royer. Sir, how are we?
I'm good. Always good to be with you guys. Yeah. What did I miss? Did I cut off the Danco?
You missed excitement about the game week. Excitement about week 0 in the books, and now week 1 is officially here.
And I got some questions for y'all about the game.
Oh, baby. Should
Whatever
be
Chad called that the segment, I can't even remember what he said.
riffing with Royer. What is it?
Yeah, little
Rapping and
riff
riffing
action.
with Ryan Royer. Yeah, we're going to be diving into all that. But, man, how are we? How's your weekend?
It's good. Solid weekend as always. I got to relax. Nothing crazy. Well, I went to see my girlfriend in Columbus. We went to a Columbus Crew game.
Oh.
I know they freshly beat our FC Cincy boys. Was that last week or 2 weeks ago? I don't even remember.
Mm-hmm.
But their stadium reminds me a lot of TQL. They're very similar. The layout. It was fun. It was my first time going to a soccer game.
Were you
I
rocking a
enjoyed
Crew
it.
jersey?
Hell no, man. I ain't a traitor like that.
Well done.
No. Well done. Well done. Roy, are you going to be making it out to Old Nippert this weekend?
I am not. I'm going up to a lake house for Labor Day.
Nice.
Sadly,
Nice.
not going to be at the stadium, but I'll be there for week 3. I'll make sure I remember that it's not. We play Pitt week 2.
Be a pretty
Not
lonely
week
Nippert
3.
stadium if you showed up week 2.
I'll put some pads on and do a little simulated game of myself so I can feel cool again. But
there we go.
I'll have to wait
There
2
we
weeks
go.
to get back to the nip.
There we go, man. That's exciting. That's exciting, man. Well, yeah, week 1 is here officially. EKU 3:30. We're gonna talk all about that, but Chad's also here. He had to get some things situated. Just got home from old volleyball, so he'll be joining us here shortly. So, I guess just quickly to open up with Royer, I wanted to throw at you if you were able to see who was named as the 4 captains for this upcoming for this season.
Before you get into that, just want to thank GMAC for the donation. What takeaways are we looking for against EKU? I'm very curious about how we mesh on the offensive side of the ball. We will certainly get to that question.
Oh yeah.
We'll wait for Chad to get back when we start looking at preview stuff.
EKU is interesting though. I'm excited to talk about them a little bit. They got a stud at quarterback, and anyone knows that anytime a stud at the quarterback position, your team's looking pretty solid. But we'll dive in more to EKU, like you said, Aaron, when Chad joins us as well. But Roy, were you able to check out the 4 captains listed and kind of your takeaways? Maybe just your thoughts on each of them leading and kind of what a full captain means for a team.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't surprised with many of the selections in terms of where you have seniority, where you have good experience and good leadership, especially when you look at the defense. We knew the D-line was going to anchor the defense, kind of anchor the team almost. So not surprised to see 2 guys there. Dante being a little young, but everything we've heard from Nico kind of shows that Dante really took that next step, and it kind of felt forced at first.
Right.
But the way Nico was talking about him last time on the show, I'm not surprised to be seeing that, just his play capability. And I'm sure, like Nico said, he's been getting guys to roll with him. He's been leading by example, leading more vocally. I think that's a good move, especially knowing Dante's character and the type of person he is on and off the field. That's the kind of guy you want to rep your program. And now you can have a captain for a couple more years after this too. So sometimes you can only get a captain for 1 year, and
right.
it's good. But like sometimes if you can get a guy that can stack up captain years, it's always good for the team to kind of have a known presence. But if you look at the defense, like you weren't really going to see like a linebacker because they're young or they're transfers. In terms of, it's hard to be a captain if you don't play a lot of snaps. It's just kind of the way it works. Right. So there are guys that may not be, that have not or who have been lower on the depth chart and have not really cracked it, that are great leaders and that lead by example and vocally, but you normally don't really see that kind of. It's just the way it is.
Is that why seeing Emery there is surprising, or is it kind of
a little bit?
Aaron and Chad kind of talked about it, but Aaron was mentioning if he wants to see the quarterback as that captain, as one of the captains. And
yeah, you
that
want
kind
that.
of along your
And
lines.
you want he's got to be the leader of the offense in his role. So that's something you want. That's something you need on a team. I was a little surprised being that he's only been there 1 year. There's some studs on offense in terms of guys that just do everything the right way. They lead, but they may not have the title of starting quarterback. But I haven't heard anything about Emery that would ever make me think that he's undeserving of that. So I think sometimes that's kind of I wouldn't say like a political move, but it's kind of like a given that you want your quarterback to be a captain, and if he doesn't lose that title by being a jackass, that he's normally going to be able to take that.
And then Gavin Gerhardt got a huge reception. It might just be that the offensive linemen are just the loudest to cheer, but good to see him. It kind of seemed like they brought in Trevor Dosevich as kind of a bit of a competition type plug, and he was able to show his worth and his talent, and getting that starting nod at the center position yet again.
Yeah, I agree, Gavin. The year Gavin had last year, he had to step up and be a leader, kind of in chaos, and to then build on that week after week and being the anchor of the O line. That means a lot, and you carry that right into the off season. And he obviously had a hell of an off season, did a hell of a job, just like everything we've heard from you guys at practice or Nico in the weight room. So I mean, that's no surprise there. You need a leader on the O line because games are won in the trenches, man. O and D line are so huge, and having leaders across the board there are big, and especially having a captain kind of step up and be a figurehead is even bigger.
Obviously, with the new coaching staff in place, things are different than when you were there. But I'm curious what you do with a guy like a Deshaun Pace, where this very well could be his last season at UC. He's shown that he wants to be a leader. He's shown the traits that I would think that you would look for in a captain. But when you're only taking two on each side of the ball and you have Dante and Juwan already occupying those spots, what do you do with a guy like Deshaun Pace?
Yeah, it's what we would talk about amongst his players, and kind of that was echoed from the coaching staff was, like having the title as captain it's an amazing reward. It's well deserved, but it doesn't mean that you're any less of a leader if you didn't get that title, because on a great football team, you have way too many guys that can be captain, and you have way too many guys that have earned it, but they might not be rewarded with it. And DP is one of those guys. It's just hard-nosed, tough love. He loves to give tough love, and he's a very vocal guy, and he has everything to back it up with his play, and kind of how he just holds guys accountable, weight room, and on the field in practice and in games. So I don't think that's a disrespectful nod to DP. Like I definitely think DP is the kind of guy that's a big leader on this team, and you just got to remember that the more guys that you're like, well, what about him? Why didn't he get it? That's kind of a good thing.
The better,
thinking like, oh shit, we got a lot of guys, that could and should be captain. So it's just hard. It's just the way it goes, man. I mean, I don't think DP is gonna let that get to him. I think he's gonna keep doing him just like he always has.
And he's going to be hearing his name quite a lot on this podcast. I'll tell you that much, especially in the mailbox. I was glancing at some of the pictures, questions, and the most obvious answer for one of them is what I'm going to say when we get to that. But that's for later in the pod. But yeah, if you couldn't tell already, the four captains for the season, of course, is Juwan Briggs. He's just had his third child. He's a grown man. Nico yet again mentions that he's the guy in every room that everyone respects, everyone listens to. And then Dante Corleone, Godfather, speaks for himself. Emery Jones, huge year out of him. And we'll see, it might be a correlation. However good of a season Emery has might be however good of a season the Bearcats have. And then, of course, Gavin Gerhardt, the heart of the offensive line there at the center position. So four really strong captains to lead the team into year one of the Big 12 and year one of Coach Scott Satterfield. And Chad peeked in for a bit. I don't know, is Chad still here, or did he peel off again? I'm going to ask.
He took himself out.
I'm here.
Chad.
The dogs are just going nuts right now, so there's going to be a lot of barking.
Hey, you know what? The dogs need to be barking because college football is back, baby. Week 1 is here, Chad. Let the dogs bark. Let them bark. But how are we, man?
I'm good. Volleyball action tonight against the number 1 8th grade team in Northern Kentucky. The first set didn't go well. The second set was better,
right?
But they lost.
They are who we thought they were.
Yeah, that team was good. The team was really good.
They were the
when
number
you're
one.
when you're rolling out 5'11", 13-year-old outside hitters, it's Kelsey's 4'10" and 3/4, so it was the girl the outside hitter. At one point, we were before the game talking to some friends, and all of a sudden Kelsey feels this giant standing right behind her, and she turns and looks, and the girl's literally a foot taller than Kelsey. Not that that's difficult, but so yeah, it didn't go great, but so they had a good time, right? That's what counts. They had a good time. Everybody had fun.
Yeah, that's all that matters. As long as everyone, I just want both teams to have fun. That's in the end. But it sounds like this opposing team had a bunch of just Ronald Allens that just came off, the bus one after another. You're like, oh,
look great off the bus. Yeah,
this team looks amazing. But they backed it up with their play on the court as well. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Other than that, weekend was good, solid.
Weekend was good. Yeah, went to a little pool party on Saturday.
Okay.
Took the kid and one of her friends shopping yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You all right, Aaron?
Big yawn.
Oh, okay. I thought you passed out or just got the top of your head.
I just didn't want to just have my mouth wide open.
You don't. It's not often you see the little thing on the top of your cap. That's. I was just worried about you.
Yeah, no, just had a big yawn, and there's already 2 screens blacked out, so I didn't want to leave Brent here all by his lonesome.
I mean, I'm here. I'm dealing with, Kelsey for her efforts. Her uncle took her out to dinner. So normally when I come home, I have Kelsey here to handle the dogs. Yeah, and she's not here. So the dogs have been caged up for 3 hours, and they're ready to play. And they don't understand when I say, guys, I got a podcast. Yeah. And they look at me like, you locked us up for 3 hours. We're ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of how this football team for the Bearcats have been just locked up.
They're locked up.
Let the dogs out and take on the Colonels. But we're going to talk a lot more about all the.
Let the cats out. Are they going to let the cats out?
Yeah. The whole play the cat growl, the cat meow. But it's going to be fun. But yeah, well, good, man. Good weekend. Good job getting it all out. But the dogs need the bark, man, because we're back. Speaking of just of being back, the beginning of each season also draws some interesting conclusions when it comes to quarterback battles, position battles, this, that, the other. Most of those are somewhat revealed when it comes to the depth chart releases in each team's game day program and game notes and whatnot. But Cincinnati today released their official depth chart. Maybe it says unofficial on there, leaving some room for interpretation, I believe. And then of course, what was it, 2 years ago, or maybe it was last year when there was 30 ors all over the schedule. It was just or all over. So kind of keep you guessing. I mean, you look all around the country.
Brad,
Tom
that's
Allen.
Just when you don't want to hurt guys' feelings, man. You got to try to keep guys happy.
Yeah,
give them a little or to get
I was going to ask you. Yeah, I was like, yeah.
That's exactly what that bullshit is. It used to drive me crazy, man.
What was
who gives a shit?
Was that 2 years ago or was that last year?
See you on the field.
Yeah.
What?
I think it was last year where there was the entire.
I mean, the thing was, the whole thing we preached was we want to have 2 platoons
1A,
on each side of the ball. Yeah,
right.
the guy there's gonna be a shit ton of guys that are gonna play,
Yeah.
and the coaches, want to make the guys feel rewarded,
Mm-hmm.
Earning their name on the depth chart or whatnot. So
Right. Well,
I don't think we're as deep this year. I think we got some thinness splattered around this.
The funniest thing is, as far as the starters go, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 oars, and one includes one of your buddies, old Bryce Burton, on there as the oar for the kickoff specialist.
For kickoff, that's the hottest oar probably on the chopping block right now. Like
Rory Bell.
Fans are wondering who is kicking that damn ball.
Well, you asked Tom Allen over down in Bloomington, Indiana.
Yeah.
Did you see what he said today? He was telling reporters that we have chosen a starting kicker for this Saturday, but we are not going to reveal it until game time.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of tactic that is, unless they got like some onside known capability that the kickers around the country that they all know each other.
That was a heated battle at camp.
Yeah.
Rory Bell v. Bryce Burton.
Obviously for IU too. They've got a crazy kicking discussion. I agree. It was hilarious though. People were running off with it on the old X today. How ridiculous it was. But also
that's your place.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's why I told him nobody cares.
Yeah. I mean, I only care for the parties and the academics. There we go. But aside from that, Nick Saban, of course, with the entire, we're not releasing a depth chart, apologizing to everyone out there. I mean, it's pretty obvious because they have a little 3-man race for their starting quarterback position. Surprised it just didn't go or. But Chad, Ryan, Aaron, any sort of thoughts just on the official depth chart release for the EKU game?
I was surprised to see Evan so high up there. Not that he's not deserving. The way he kind of climbed his way right into that. Yeah. That's so well. I remember you guys remember how much I was just like raving about how hard that is to do. Mm-hmm. How he kind of just took it running right in stride. So I was happily surprised for him because that's hard, man, to get up there and be going to get some serious snaps at receiver after never playing it in his life at a Power 5 football school.
Yep. I mean, here's the thing. He's athletic. He's got good hands. He's a smart kid. Like, I get that it's difficult, but he's still a guy that, he can go. You know what I mean?
Yep. He can. I'm excited.
He wasn't accidentally the highest rated recruit, offensive recruit in program history.
Yes.
Right. He's got some athleticism too. Chad, what was your biggest surprise or just something that kind of caught your eye as far as the depth chart goes?
I mean, nothing really surprising. It's pretty much exactly what we've been reporting at Bearcat Journal throughout camp.
Yep.
I don't buy the Braden Smith, Aaron Turner. It's Braden Smith, but you give Aaron Turner the because I've talked about this. If it wasn't for Braden Smith, we'd have talked a crap ton about Aaron Turner.
Right.
Through camp. But it was just Braden Smith was so good. That was the case. Antoine Peak Jr. being a backup, that was in one of my 2 deeps that Antoine Peak was running with the 2s a lot at safety. So no, I mean it's.
I say if you weren't following though, that would probably be one of them that kind of jumps out to you more than anything else.
What are you here for if you're not on Bearcat Journal following every step of the way?
Because the season is here. People are now ready to be locked in and fired up. But no, I agree. Yeah, it was mentioned and talked about. I was surprised. Oliver Bridges obviously right there as well. He's gotten a lot of praise, but to see Peak kind of sitting right there on the second team just speaks to the amount of talent and production that he's had out there on the field throughout camp. So
Peak will come down and lay a lick on you.
Oh yeah,
like he will hit you.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be exciting. I mean, yeah, it's they put unofficial 2 deep depth chart, so who even knows what officially will happen, but for the most part, it looks pretty on point to what everyone has kind of been talking about here on BCJ as far as the, different starters and those backing up and whatnot. So, it's a lot
I was
of
a little surprised to
talent up
see.
there.
I was a little surprised to see Peyton Singletary listed above Shimon Mateer.
Yeah, another or situation, but
It is, and I think that you're going to see them used differently. But
yeah,
I was still
Yeah, they're two different guys. I mean, I get why you list them. If they come out in a pass heavy set on the first play of the game, it's a good chance you'll have Peyton Singletary in there.
Yep.
They come out in a run heavy set, or a run look, then there's a good chance you'll have Shimon in there. Or they come out in 12, and both of them are out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say a whole lot schematically about what they've been doing, but there's been more 12 than I expected. Which 12 is, for the people that aren't into football lingo, 12 is one running back, two tight ends, two wide receivers. They ran a pretty good amount of 12 at camp. So, I mean, you could see 12 on the first play where they're both out on the field. So, I think, if I had to guess, Shimon is, and this is probably what you're getting at, Aaron. I'm guessing Shimon gets more snaps.
Yeah,
but Singletary's had a good camp, and he's going to be.
It wasn't a surprise as a knock. To clarify on my part, I just wanted to make sure that I'm not putting it out there like, what did he do? No, it wasn't anything like that.
No. I know what you're saying. But yeah, I mean, there's both of those guys are going to play a lot of snaps. They're both good.
Yeah, and you know what would also be good is maybe some Cincy Light beer cheese at the tailgate. Shout out Keegan, we see in the chat there. But
Aaron, if you want to send him an invite, we can bring him in.
Okay. I will slightly jump in the discourse of this because Shimon Mateer was supposed to be every bit of the no or in terms of he should be the first one, and with his kind of like the momentum he had coming out of last season and the season when I was there, you would have thought that there had been no way. So that kind of shows how good Peyton must be doing and really stepped it up.
I mean, he's had a really good spring into the summer.
Yeah.
Like, he's one of those guys, Ryan, that like he kind of started really finding himself at the end of the spring and then had a big spring game. And that confidence, I mean, I talked to him about it in the interview we did with him. That confidence coming off of that spring game with a touchdown catch and a couple other nice catches like that, that gets you believing in yourself going into the summer. And, especially with a new regime and new coaches that you're making an impression on, all of a sudden he worked his way right up there. Now, like I said, I do think Shimon ends up getting, a larger number of the snap count because he is more of both a run blocker and a guy that can hurt you in the passing game. But Peyton Singletary is going to be, an effective weapon for this offense.
Yeah, I mean, Peyton's played a lot too. Not consistently been on the field, but he's had appearances in games. Caught a touchdown your senior year, Ryan. It kind of has been involved, whatnot. However much you can be involved, and how good the tight end room was for those past couple of seasons that you were there. But it just does bode well to the fact that he's put in the work. He looks good. He physically looks like he's ready to make an impact at the tight end position. And like you said, it only bodes well that both players are up there to that level to be on the and have both of them ready to produce and play at a big level. So it's gonna be exciting. And of course, after EKU, fans are gonna be drawing conclusions and saying like, oh, well, this guy came on the field and looked great, this, that, and the other. But in the end, this is just the unofficial official depth chart, and the play on the field is going to decide a lot more of who teams game plan for and how teams decide to attack offense and defensively against the Bearcats. But
I mean, if you ask me, my biggest surprise, like from the start of camp to the official 2 deep going out,
yeah,
I have to say I think D'Artagnan Tinsley.
I was going to say, yeah.
Like I thought we had him in the mix as a guy that like he could be a 2 deep guy.
Yeah.
And he came in at the beginning of camp and won the left guard job.
Yeah.
And just kind of convincingly won the left guard job.
Right.
And so I think that would be the biggest stock riser, if you will, for me from the beginning of camp to the end of camp, that he went from that was supposed to be an or, right? Yeah. And he's the starting left guard convincingly.
Yeah. You hear all the coaches, Chad, in the interviews that you've had, and it's just second nature. It's like, yeah, DT's been killing it. So it's like, wow, okay, well, we all thought it was maybe going to be Gavin pushed out to left and Radosevic comes in starting center,
or even Radosevic at left,
right?
And
exactly.
Gavin at center. I mean, that's kind of what I thought coming out of the spring was most likely that Gavin would play center, right, and that Radosevic would slide to left guard. And Tinsley was clearly the best left guard at camp. So I know, because of his like he's got ridiculous reach for a guy like that. I mean, I know the NFL guys, the scouts have inquired about,
tell me more about this guy.
Who's the left guard with the monster wingspan? So he's gained a lot of momentum.
Well, and also the other thing is like, when you come up the way that Tinsley came up, that you're not going to get the same amount of work in the weight room and ability to kind of craft your body as he has been able to get the past 2 seasons at Kentucky Christian, where he was before, so the fact that he's able to come in and get under a real Division I workout regimen with 2 of the best, Brady Collins and then Nico. So you've got the ability to form a great player, and now all of a sudden he's really turning ahead. So I agree with that too, and also the confidence in John Williams. I mean, John Williams was always in the mix at that left tackle position, but the staff does seem pretty confident in John Williams. It's kind of like secondary as well to them. It's like John's doing a great job out there. He's going to have a great season. So we'll see, man. The game day this Saturday, though. Let's shift focus to EKU just real fast, and then Royer's gonna it's gonna be another riffing with Royer. Chad Royer came prepared. He said he's got some questions for us about week 1. I said, "Damn, Royer, you're ready for riffing, baby." But that's real quick. Obviously, a lot of connections to this EKU team and the Bearcats and the staff. EKU obviously. Pretty good year last year, 7 wins, went to the FCS playoffs. They had a like opponent last year. They beat Kennesaw State 45-38, so a little bit closer of a margin than what the Bearcats were able to do, but still a like opponent and also a win. Cam Jr., former Bearcat, transferred there. There's a bunch of players from Cincinnati on their roster in Ohio as well, including
Azira.
What's that?
They got a Hilliard Davidson guy, Josiah Azira.
They do.
Yeah. Yep. He's my brother's age. Great kid.
Offensive lineman, right?
Yeah. They turned him into an O lineman there, man. He's a monster now.
Big dude.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I
think he's their starting tackle.
Okay. Yeah.
I think so. I can't remember.
And then, how about this? They have a 6'5" punter from Pro Kick Australia as well. I mean, like the connections are kind of crazy, but the main player they have is quarterback Parker McKinney. Interesting facts about Parker McKinney is that there's only 3 quarterbacks in the AP top 25 in the FBS who have thrown for more career passing yards than Parker McKinney. But the thing is, Parker McKinney has rushed for more career rushing yards than those 3 quarterbacks. Only Bo Nix is the only other quarterback to go over 1,000 rushing yards. So Parker McKinney, 9,718 career passing yards, 1,446 rushing yards. He's a guy that, as much EKU you want to listen to podcast wise, there's this one guy who just could not stop talking about Parker McKinney. So it's going to be a talented quarterback coming into Nippert on Saturday. Obviously, he's going to be facing a different defensive look than what they normally have. But Scott Satterfield has played EKU twice during his time at Louisville. He actually got first win as Louisville's head coach against EKU. Bearcats have won 21 straight home openers. Could be 22 on Saturday. Kind of just all the connections are pretty interesting. Broad thoughts on old EKU. The Colonels obviously don't want to take them too lightly, but I mean, when you have a talented quarterback, an offensive line that returns a couple of good players, including one that was selected on the Senior Bowl watch list on the offensive line. So, I mean, they've got a couple talented players, but still, it's going to be interesting to see what they do coming into Nippert. But yeah, I mean, that's about what you're going to get Colonel wise from me. Anything just broadly on old EKU, or be ready for a little riffing with Royer?
I mean, what's there to talk? I mean, it's EKU. Look, I'm sure they've got a good program. They've got a good quarterback. Right. But this defense should swallow their offense. And if it doesn't, then you get a little worried. You get a little concerned, even if it's game one in a new system. Like, you can't let the FCS team control you at the line of scrimmage and push you around. So I don't think that will happen.
Yeah.
I do want to see, like, how long is it? Can I finish? How long does it take for the offense to really find a rhythm?
Right.
That's the question.
06 and 08, the last 2 years, and the only 2 years Cincinnati has played EKU. Can you guys name starting quarterback on those 06, 08 teams?
06 would have been Gino.
Mm-mm. Same quarterback both years.
No. Same quarterback both years.
Right before your boy Tony Pike took over.
Oh, Grutza?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He threw to Dominic Goodman had a career high in receiving yards, 2 touchdowns from Marty Gilliard. But
Gino's last year was 04. I don't know why I screwed that one.
Good. But yeah, I mean they handled EKU 40-7 in 08, and then in 06 it was 30-3. No, that was when Satterfield was coaching Louisville. They won 30-3. So 31-0 was the 06 game. So just kind of little nuggets there on EKU.
Friend of the network, Dustin Grutza.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll say this much for Coach Satterfield. He was the head coach of that Appalachian State team that beat Michigan. So he's not going to take anybody lightly, knowing what he did when he was a team that everyone took. He was not there when Appalachian State won?
He was I think OC.
Oh, well, you're on mute. Can't hear you, Chad. Okay. Well, okay. So he wasn't head coach.
I don't think he was the head coach. I think he was the OC.
Okay.
Yeah, 2013
even still,
was his first year at App State.
He was there. He knew what it took. And I don't think he's going to be taking anybody lightly. So
right.
Great point, Aaron. I like that.
Me too. I like when Aaron sprinkles that goodness on us. But yeah, it was in 08. Oh no, that was 2007. 07, yeah, 2007. They won at Michigan. It just says Jerry Moore is the head coach. I was trying to see what the OC was, but yeah, that is that. But yeah, let's go ahead and riff it with Royer. Or Royer, do you have any opening about FCS opponents and kind of what your take is on not taking them lightly?
I mean, I've been on a couple teams and where it was way more
Murray
difficult
State
than I
game.
thought it was going to be. Murray State, Austin P. My first year, we won by 12.
Yeah.
Am I missing one, Chad?
I don't feel like you guys ever just came out and destroyed an FCS team.
We destroyed Alabama A&M. I played in that game.
I was more excited about that game. Their band was awesome.
Yeah, they were. I can't remember any of the other ones.
Yeah, 2019 didn't play an FCS team. I think it was kind of that Murray State game was weird up until halftime. Austin P 55-20 in 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that one didn't feel like a blowout until the end, though, did it? Am I right?
Yeah, I think
I don't
so.
think they dominated that game early.
Right. Alabama A&M was 63-7. So yeah, I mean
that one was a butt kicking.
Yeah, it absolutely was. But yeah, I mean,
did they run the option?
Roy?
No.
Yeah,
I was trying to think.
Kennesaw State did.
Yeah,
Kennesaw State did this past year, and man,
and you guys, the Bearcats were ready for the option.
Yes. Just like Freeman was this weekend against Navy. 63-10 was the score of that Kennesaw State game. So yeah, I mean, what Roy just can't take FCS lightly. Still, just come out,
you can't
perform well, and go from there. Should we riff it, Ryan?
Let's do it, man.
All right, throw it on us, baby. Throw it on us.
All right. First, I want to start off with Emery. Kind of this being the first game. There's been like 3 different Emery Joneses we've seen in college football. We saw like a 700-yard rushing Emery Jones. Then last year, shit hit the fan, only around 31 rushing yards or whatever the hell it was. I was looking at it. And what kind of Emery Jones do you think we're going to get out of Scott Satterfield's offense? Are we thinking like under 500 rushing yards? Are we going to see him getting back to that old true dual threat attack, kind of like that Malik Cunningham? But I think Emery has a better arm. What do you guys think?
I think that's probably right. 500 range, 500, 600 range. I don't think they want to run him a ton.
Why do you think?
And by that, I mean 15, 17, 18 designed runs a game. I don't think they want to do that. But I think if he gets 10, 12 carries a game between running the ball, like designed runs, and then escaping on, broken down pass play type things, 10 carries, 50, 60, 70 yards a game, I think is probably where I would estimate the averages.
Yeah, I think if Emery only rushes for 31 yards, then I think something went really terribly wrong. Arizona State is a mess, and obviously you see why they were a mess after what they just recently did. The week before their season begins, imposing a self-ban, postseason ban for the year. I mean, these guys are just it's a mess there in Arizona State.
I have also banned myself from dating Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah. Yes.
I put a 1-year ban on dating Jennifer Lawrence.
What was your infraction?
Yeah.
I can't get into it. It's held up in the appeals process, but
right. I mean that's insanity, and it's just because I don't know, it's a mess, and so the fact that Emery's coming from that mess, I think you're going to see a bunch of rushing yards. He had over 700 his last year at Florida. I don't know if he's going to quite reach that, like Chad was saying, but like 500, 600 yards. But it would be interesting to see because Emery in interviews has been talking about being able to go out there and game a little bit more, use his legs a little bit more. So maybe we do.
He's looked good when he's ran the ball. He's looked good.
Right. Exactly. And, we kind of mentioned the whole, during the spring game, a little bit more, throughout fall camp. He's a gamer when the bright lights come on. And the one thing that quarterback needs is confidence. And I think that's what Emery's got a little bit of extra juice heading into this year. So I think as confident as he can be, that'll lead the team, especially running the football. Aaron topped off. So I guess
I'm here.
Anything else to add on the old Emery?
No, I mean, I'd be surprised if he doesn't get over 500 yards. If he doesn't, I don't think that it's going to come anywhere near to the 6 to 8 win ceiling and floor that I've set the season at. So I'm certainly rooting for him to end up in that like 5 to 6, 700 range.
Yeah,
I think it's about right.
Let's go.
Let's go.
It's just hard to like kind of trying to wondering on how they use him because you don't want to when you run a lot of outside zone. Sometimes that quarterback option is kind of straight downhill,
Yeah.
down in between the tackles, and I or you can do like opposite edge quarterback. Yeah,
that's the play goes this way. He goes out the back door.
Yeah, because
You know,
I
if
don't
it's going
I don't
left,
see them or want them running him in between the.
I don't think you'll see a lot of like
Yeah.
straight, QB dive type stuff. Maybe you'll see from time to time like a delay, that 1-2 pause and then try to fill it up the gut. But I think a lot more of it'll be outside. You get the line going this way. Maybe you take a guard, pull the guard back the opposite way to give him a bodyguard or something. But that's my guess.
I might put it over 600 for rushing yards for him. Because you look at Malik Cunningham rushed for over 1,000 yards 2 years ago. That's crazy. Yeah. And then last
they ran
year,
Malik Cunningham a lot though.
Right.
A lot.
Well, yeah, he had a.
I also think
boatload of
Emery's
carries.
arm is way better.
Yeah. So I don't know. I might say above 6 might be where I rest.
When it's just the other thing is with scrambling, it can lead to the biggest bulk of your rushing yards, but it can also knock down.
Right.
You're rushing with the O-line, kind of how you saw how the nightmare that it was last year in terms of sacks and pressures and scrambling. That's another thing I kind of pull into the picture of if Emery can get away, he might get a lot more rushing yards just by scrambling downfield.
Mm-hmm.
But it could also really hurt him if he's getting sacked like Ben was or just getting pressured like that.
Yeah.
Something I was just wondering.
That's why I think schematically we're going to see a little bit different on the offensive line, which is what I'm extremely excited to see.
How's he been throwing on the run?
They haven't done a ton of it, obviously. They've done some stuff where the pocket is moving, but then, you're trying to get – when you bootleg, you're not throwing on the run, right? You're rolling out and then mostly getting set and delivering. This little bit that he's done, it's looked pretty good, but I just don't think we have enough of a real sample size yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like with the ball being – with the quarterback being live at least.
Yeah. Because, dude, those intermediate kind of scramble routes by the receivers, I mean, if you can make those throws, they just kill defenses. But they're so hard because you're throwing off one foot, you're moving, you have to get it out quick, and it can be like that 12 to 17
the windows
yard.
Like this.
Yeah. And that, Ben, it was hard for Ben to do that. Not that his arm couldn't get him there. It was that just being able to move and get in the spot to even get the ball out.
Right.
So kind of that's what I was wondering about, kind of how Emery's progressed in his throwing on the run skill.
Ben thought you were fast, Ryan.
I was, man. Don't catch me downhill. It's a whole different animal.
There we go. Question 2, Royer.
Don't play football on hills, Royer.
Sometimes.
Oh, that's
sorry.
A
you guys are breaking up.
Yeah,
okay.
You just froze.
You.
Oh, it's my roommate. He's trying to get back on the screen again.
There we go.
He's hacking in.
All of a sudden, we're gonna get it's gonna pop to him.
Bing.
Okay, so there was the Emery one. This is kind of simple. I want to kind of go like two different directions. Who are you most excited for, and who and like what in terms of schematically / coaching style in the game, and then like what player are you kind of most excited for to kind of see just let loose and go out there and make some plays?
You guys go.
Pretty easy for me. Brian Brown. I want to see that defense chomping at the bit to see it, honestly. And
pressure wise,
and just flying all over the field, sending different blitzes, having the luxury of a defensive line that is going to stop pretty much any rushing attack that's going to be presented to him this year, and then to fit that mold is Deshaun Pace. I mean, when you have a scheme and a defense that is set to have one position called the star position, and then you double down on that, saying that Deshaun Pace is the perfect player for their star position. It doesn't fit that nicely in many situations, and you have that right now, and so I'm excited to see what Deshaun Pace has at that star position that is vital and important to the scheme of Brian Brown that finished, number one in sacks last year and was taking the ball away left and right. So those are two monster things that I'm excited about.
I'm going to go with the other side of the ball and say that I'm excited to have a head coach in who has a background in offense. Just kind of excited to see what tricks that Scott Satterfield can pull out of his pocket. Excited to see what this offense can do, as this is unlike anything that we've seen in any type of recent history with one returning starter. Of the 11 projected starters, I think 2, 3 have been on the team prior to this, maybe more than that. I think it was 4 or 5 on that. If you have that depth chart, Brent.
On the offensive side,
yeah.
Who's on the team?
Yeah, who's even on the team? Not even just returning starters,
Williams,
John
Tinsley,
Williams,
Harder.
D'Artagnan Tinsley, Gerhardt, Peyton Singletary, and Corey Kiner.
So 5. Five of your starters are returning players for this team. So I'm excited to see what he can put together, and just to see what this new offense is going to look like going forward. As I haven't watched a ton of Louisville, going back to check out what Scott Satterfield was doing there, and excited to see what the future is going to look like, I guess. As far as players, kind of in that same vein, I'm excited to see what Emery Jones can do. There's been plenty of talk about him throughout his career, as far as him being a guy, then not being a guy. Maybe he can be a guy here again. And this team is going to go as he goes. So excited to see what he does with the pieces that he's put around, that Scott Satterfield has put around him at this point in time, and see what this wide receiver group can do, what this running back committee can do with this new scheme, and see what the new captain Emery Jones can do at the helm.
I'm gonna go coach-wise. I want to, I guess you really want to see what Walt does with that second year of continuity with this defensive line group that's supposed to, have the chance to be outstanding, and see how he adapts to coaching Brian Brown's system of, not just holding the point of attack, but trying to aggressively get upfield. And I don't know, Ryan, maybe you disagree with this. It felt like the only guy they ever really turned loose and said, go, was Majay. Maybe there just wasn't the dudes that could do it like Majay did, but it felt like they wanted to hold the point of attack instead of getting, letting the guys maybe get too deep in the backfield. Is that wrong?
I think that's fair. It was kind of like trying to put Majay on an island, let him go win. But,
right.
That means if you have one guy kind of doing that kind of exotic island kind of like defensive end play, that if you have any of the other three kind of slip up, you're screwed. So I think that's fair. I do agree with you.
So I'm really interested to see how Walt manages that group and how he gets the best out of them in the new system.
Yes. But you can kind of turn Corleone loose in a completely opposite way, though.
And I think they will. So, I think you'll see him causing havoc up the middle.
just go kill everything that moves. And that's it. Honestly, it shapes up better for a defensive line to have someone like that than
Of
a
course.
MyJ, because you're
Yeah.
you're at the point of attack immediately. You're creating more chaos at the point of attack.
And you
where
can't
you're
just step up
yeah.
away from an inside rush.
Yeah, it just
Like, there
helps
were
you
a
in the
lot-
run. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good. That's
There
why
were
Dante
teams-
Dante is the he is arguably the most influential player on the defense.
There were a lot of
Probably
teams
is.
with MyJ. They just instructed the quarterback to like step up and let him go by.
And hard count.
Yeah, and hard count and get him to jump off sides, or say his name and see if he'll jump, like somebody else used to.
No one seemed to pick up on that for as successful as it was.
In terms of single player, I want to see if Braden Smith can be the guy that he has flashed in this camp.
Mm-hmm.
Like that guy that, you get the ball to him 5 yards past the line of scrimmage and he makes it a 45-yard play. Like, is he really what we saw throughout this camp as a actual game-changing splash play where you're not throwing him jump balls, you're throwing him a crossing route in the flow of the offense, and he takes a 7-yard gain and makes it a 45-yard splash play. But I'm really interested to see, he's the one guy that has the most juice in this system, knows what Satterfield wants from him. He's in that COVID year. If he's going to do anything with his career, he's got a chance to do it now. I want to see what we saw in camp on game day from him, and I want to see him stay healthy.
Is he? Would you say is he ready to take flight, Chad?
Brent, why do we have to do this?
What do you think?
Why do we have to do this?
It works. Ready to take flight. Yeah, that's right. He is a pilot, and
I know.
Would be awesome if he flew the plane to some of these away games. That'd be pretty cool. But
no, I do not want him flying the 100 passenger
as a
150 passenger charter jet.
Fair
to away games.
But one more fun nugget about him: he had a 49-yard punt return against EKU in 2021.
He can throw it, and if you put him and Evan on the field together, you could do all kinds of stuff.
The triple pass.
To
Emery.
That'd be nasty. And then they're just sitting in the end zone 80 yards away when they started on the 40 is one Evan Prater again. Gosh, it's crazy. But anyway, yeah. I agree, Chad. I think it's time for Braden Smith to put together what everyone's been talking about and raving about, and I'm excited to see it too. Dave Simone, he's asking a question in the chat, but normally you got to pay for it. We're gonna let him slide here because I believe Dave Simone is a return listener to the pod. So Royer,
isn't that Bearcat brunch guy?
I think brunch, and he's got some other podcasts I listen to every once in a while.
It's not that good.
Yeah,
The
question is, did the players vote for captains, or did the coaches pick? Royer, take it away.
Yes, the players voted. I think the coaches just counted the votes and named the captain, but it was all behind closed doors. There could have been some votes shuffling around. You never know. We didn't have any poll watchers there.
Were you guys ever surprised? What the hell? How did that guy end up captain? And if so, name names.
No, we're not going to go there.
Who did they stuff the ballot for? Let's hear it.
Garrett Campbell was a captain? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, that was bullshit. Garrett Campbell had no business being a captain. You could tell his ass was no, I think I can't think of anyone that sticks out. Like I said, we had so many guys. By that end, we had so many great leaders, great players, great people. Kind of the culture cultivated, and so I wasn't. There's no one I'm gonna be able to name drop.
Oh, come on. Come on.
There's this guy,
I can't think of it
Desmond
off the top of
Ritter.
my head. Yeah, something about that guy just rubbed me the wrong way. That number 9 guy. I don't even remember his fucking name.
Yeah.
What is he up to these days? I mean, I can't imagine his career.
I don't know. Probably doing some bullshit sales job.
I think he golfs a lot on the weekends, stuff like that.
That damn kid of his off camera. Jeez.
Doesn't he deliver food?
That is what he's
he does that.
Nailed it.
DoorDash.
Yeah. Nailed it.
I mean, we're all connecting here because he does all these things. That's pretty crazy.
Does he fly a plane?
No, that's only Braden Smith, baby. The man, the myth, the legend. Royer, let's continue.
I got one more for y'all.
Let's hear.
Keep it at 3 this week. We were you guys were talking about guys you're most excited about and talking about splash plays from the offense. So I was wondering what you guys think about who's going to make the most big explosive plays, the offense or the defense. And then if you could name a guy you think with whoever side you pick, if you can name the guy you think that's going to make the most of them.
All right, let's call splash plays. Aaron, are we saying it's your version of a splash play, or is this a?
No, we'll go with the true version of a splash play.
And then defensively, splash play will be what? Sack and turnover.
It's like turnovers,
tackle for loss,
fumbles, tackles for loss, sacks. I think QB hit. We counted QB hits as explosive plays.
Okay,
but I don't know.
That's because Fick was a defense first.
I think we could pass breakups. I'm trying to remember.
He probably called just defensive.
Let's just call it. Let's call it TFL plays. Sacks, interceptions, fumbles, turnovers, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Safety.
Yeah. Blocked punt.
Blocked punt. Yeah, blocked punt's got to be in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need that one.
You can't just make a wish a block punt.
I mean, there was one guy I know who did.
Sure about that?
Hey, you sure about that?
The Pirates were in on it, man. It was kind of weird. They parted the Red Sea.
But they actually counted that one. They didn't count some other ones from the past, but it's a different story for a different time.
I'll go defense and Deshaun Pace. I'm taking the layup. Right. Especially tackles for loss. What we've seen him do on any throw to the flat to his side, is violent. Violent.
And he says that's 70%, right?
Yeah. The way he explodes to the ball and his closing speed, he's going to get some interceptions, dropping in coverage and being kind of disguised. I think he's going to have a hell of a year.
Okay. Aaron?
Yeah, I'm going to go
with your layup.
I'm gonna say defense as well, actually. And I'm going to say Dante Corleone because I think that this is going to be an outstanding year for him.
Fair.
Are we counting batted balls as well?
He's going to stick up the big mittens. Yeah, that counts, especially from D-line.
Yeah.
If your D-line gets a batted ball at the line of scrimmage, that's a splash play.
Yeah.
And for sure.
Well, to go against the grain, I will go. I think the defense will have more splash plays because I don't think I guess the offense is kind of designed for that, where it's kind of wear out the defense
and then hit the big run. I think last year they had more 40-yard runs than anybody in college football.
Okay, yeah. So I mean they're going to get there a fair amount, but with the defense that Coach Brown's bringing in, it's going to be their main goal is for these havoc, big splash plays. So I'll go offense, and I'll say Aaron, I thought you were going to go with this. I'll say Xavier Henderson, who
he was on the radar.
Who I think he might not be the number one guy even on offense that does it, but I think when he makes a play, I think it's going to be a splash, So
yeah, I mean, he is really good at getting late separation, as we've talked about here. He's one of those guys that just late in the route, he goes from even to open, and Emery Jones throws a great deep ball. So there's definitely going to be opportunities for Xavier Henderson to make some splash plays on the outside.
There we go, baby. There we go.
OLI Miles Montgomery.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. On the rushing end of things.
That was why I couldn't go with an offensive player. I didn't know between those two guys who I would have picked. Right. And I was surprised Chad didn't go Braden, but then
I already gave Braden his flowers. Like, you can't give flowers twice. That's not how flowers work.
You can. Just
it comes off as desperate.
Doesn't.
Off as desperate.
God damn. Well, yeah. Royer, who do you think, as far as offense or defense splash plays from everything that you've been able to gather?
I think I kind of asked it because I didn't really know myself, because I think they're both going to take off. I think it's not like a clear cut, because I think the offense is going to hum. I think they're going to make a lot of big plays. I think Emery's going to create some big plays with his feet and with his arm. I'm stuck between Corleone and Deshaun, because I know like I talked about, Corleone's just going to be like just right there every single time he's in the game. So
yeah,
I think I'm going to go with Aaron. I'm going to go defense and Corleone. I'm not going to try to complicate things. Go with the first team All-American guy.
Doesn't Eric Phillips have a penchant for getting a lot of tackles for losses too?
Yeah. So, I think EP is going to have a good year.
And Daniel Greshik as well. So
yeah.
What's up, Keegan? How are we?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Keegan Nickerson joining the BBP. Second appearance, game week.
Absolutely.
Welcome to game week. First game week of the Satterfield era. First game week of the Keegan Nickerson era. Here we go.
That's true. I just want to say to Royer, everyone who just like got done playing football at UC and then got a sales job is probably really pissed at you right now. It's like half the former players for UC.
Oh no, I wasn't like a jab. I was just comparing like being a starting NFL quarterback to, having a sales job. Sorry guys, but that's true. I could say the same thing about being an engineer. Yeah, I'd much rather be Desmond Ritter than myself.
They became professionals in something other than sports, right?
Yeah, and just to be honest, every sales guy I've met, former Bearcat, they're doing way better than me now. So I know better. I know better if that's a bad thing. I appreciate you checking me though.
Yeah, I laughed out loud in the car listening to that one. That was funny. And then we beat Alabama A&M so bad that I played was also very funny.
Yeah, I'm good for a couple quips every Monday.
There we go. Keegan, did you have anything to add as far as splash players, maybe which coach you're most excited to see on game day schematically and the player that fits it, or anything? And then of course Emery's your boy, so kind of what you expect from just week one EKU Emery.
I think splash plays, which you guys just touched on it, but I think Miles Montgomery fits too good in the running scheme that I'd expect a pretty big year out of him. I think I'm like really, really high on him compared to some other people. I think he's got the Jerome Ford potential to where he just hits a hole and he is gone, because he's shown it during camp already. So I think that combination with those two is really exciting. And then defensively, I think Daniel Greshik's going to have a really good year, kind of bouncing off of Jawan Briggs and Dante Corleone. So, but I would repeat everything everyone said about Emery. So just, I think 500, 600 yards is probably the expectation. I think anything above that with a solid passing year has him like as one of the better quarterbacks in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Dave wanted to check you on your take that he might be a top 10 Heisman guy.
That's not.
He said he had to turn off the podcast.
Royer can vouch for me. He said the ceiling for Emery Jones is a top 10 Heisman guy. if
Dave
he
said he
were
stopped listening immediately. He couldn't take you serious after that. He said your credibility was shot.
okay, well, Dave and I can box.
Yes, I don't think Dave wants to do that. I think he would probably decline.
Whatever. Me and Dave will get after it.
Ceiling is the roof.
The ceiling is the roof.
What about as far as coach schematically? I am interested as a whole, kind of to see, because I didn't watch every single Louisville game going back and whatnot. Just kind of see how is it Satterfield that's really grabbing a hold of the offense throughout the entire game? Who is kind of in control of the timeouts, and who's the loudest voice in the huddles, this, that, and the other. So as far as what you've seen or what you're anticipating or excited to see, as far as, coaches, what are you going to watch for on Saturday?
I think it's Satterfield, just to see like the offense that he has basically promised throughout his career, if it can translate to Cincinnati. And also I really liked what Aaron said about, he was technically the play caller. His title wasn't offensive coordinator. He was quarterbacks coach and play caller, because they didn't even have an offensive coordinator at App State that year they beat Michigan. But that experience that he has in that situation, I think he's really going to put the hammer down and know that they can't take their foot off the brakes, and they have to come out hard to beat this team. So them taking care of business and kind of hammering Eastern Kentucky is kind of different than winning by like 3 possessions. Right. So I think the past UC teams that have been very good, that have beat Kennesaw State 63-10 and Alabama A&M, have gone on to do great things. So if this UC team can do that to Eastern Kentucky or something similar, because this is a good FCS team, then the expectations can be a little higher.
You can't take foot off the gas. You can take your foot off the brakes. Yeah.
No. We take your foot off the brake.
All gas, no brakes, Aaron.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I agree. It's gonna be exciting. Saturday's gonna tell a lot because, like you said,
that was how Tommy Tuberville coached. Can't take your foot off the brake.
Right.
Go to hell. Get a job.
It's hard to get a job if you are constantly pumping that brake. You're gonna be running late for a lot of things. But yeah, I think Aaron. Yeah.
That's not a Danco spot. I don't know what it is.
Aaron, you're in. I'm out.
If your brakes are hurting, you can head over to Danco Transmission and Autocare. Get yourself a quick fixing. Anything over $100, get 10% off. Love you, Danco Joe. Quick, Aaron, I know you and Chad kind of did superlatives, but each Chad and Dave do their, game by game breakdown for each season preview. So far on the BVP, we've done who we think is going to kind of just lead the team statistically for just a handful of different stats. Roy, you're going to be involved in this. Chad, you're going to chime in. Keegan, I'm interested to hear yours as well. But as far as it goes, Louisville had great success running the football under Coach Scott Satterfield. Obviously, App State did too. But they spread the ball around. Numerous players getting big-time yardage, quarterback leading the team in rushing as well. So who is your pick for leading rushing yards for this upcoming season? Aaron, you're next to me. Then we'll go. Chad will go around the rim, around the horn. There we go.
Around the horn.
Around the what?
Around the horn.
Okay.
Aaron.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Miles Montgomery. I think that his home run potential is second to none on this team.
Yeah.
And I think that he's going to lead this offense in rushing yards.
Okay.
Doing my best to keep a straight face while everybody else around me is laughing.
Hey, I was trying to stay away from around the horn because I think
the
stay away kind of trademarked that.
Yeah, what you went with was.
Hey, you know what? Whatever, Chad. What's your pick?
I'm gonna go Miles Montgomery as well.
It's a damn basketball term.
You're digging a deeper hole.
Whatever.
Continue. I think it's going to be really close between him and Kiner. I think they will end up. My bold prediction is they will end up within 100 yards of each other.
Okay.
At the end of the season, because I think there are going to be games that fit Kiner's running style. There are going to be games that fit Miles' running style. So you'll see them kind of jockey back and forth. But I'll go. I think Miles ultimately because of what Aaron said. Aaron, I'm going to agree with you. I know it's something I do all the time.
Not true at all.
I think the home run hitting ability of Miles gives him a slight edge at the end of the season.
Okay.
I'd like to think both of them are somewhere each between 700, 800 yards this year.
Royer, who you got?
I'm going Kiner. I think this is his year, man. I think what we saw from him his freshman year at LSU. I couldn't believe he transferred and that him coming back. I was super excited. But ever since he's been here, there's always been an injury in the offseason or him when he first came in just trying to learn the playbook. Then he got injured. And then last year, I don't know. We just had a lot of guys getting a lot of snaps. The offensive line was not good at all. So I think this year, just an updated running attack. I think it fits his kind of skill set really well. Same with Miles. They both fit it well. But I just think he's got that. I think he's just got that kind of next level playmaking. So I'm excited.
Okay.
I think this is his year to kind of come back and kind of grow into what he was supposed to be.
All right, Keegan, it's around to you.
I'm going to echo Chad and Aaron and say Miles Montgomery. I think it's going to be close, but then the home runs takes Montgomery over what Kiner would do. But I will say I think Kiner has more receiving yards from the running backs than Montgomery. So I think that chemistry he has with Emery Jones is going to have an impact.
I so badly want to say Emery Jones to continue to roll on with the top 10 in the Heisman voting, but I mean Kiner. It does seem like the coaching staff loves to talk about Corey Kiner and what he's done. Obviously, Miles is really flashing, but who knows? Maybe Ethan is completely healthy. Maybe you've got Ryan Montgomery pushing for snaps. Maybe it is Emery Jones who kind of leads the way in rushing at like 700 yards, and then everyone else is at like 650, 600, 400, 350. Something along those lines. Where just because of all the talented running backs, it's too many carries to go around, and Emery
I will say this,
leads the way.
I'm all for it being Emery Jones because that would also mean very little sack yardage.
Yeah.
Because sacks are counted in the running game in college football. So
right.
I think it's dumber than shit. But
it is.
If he leads the team in rushing, that would also mean he did not get sacked a ton.
Amen. How about rushing touchdowns? Just real quick.
Kiner.
Okay.
Kiner.
Now you joining my team, huh? Kiner gang. Let's
go.
go.
We talked about Miles because of his home run hitting ability.
I'm just
inside the 10, it's Kiner.
Yeah.
It's Kiner for sure.
Yeah.
I heard they're gonna give Bird a couple looks at the goal line package. Be aware.
He's a big boy. Like he can run into.
He's 200 now. He lost like 20 pounds.
I know.
There is this picture of him that like I saw on Twitter like probably 2 months ago now, or maybe just a month ago, but he looks massive. And it's like, and my friend group was like, who is this? And I'm like, that's Stephen Bird, running back. Looks like a defensive end out there.
Bryce Burton. That's who I
thought
you said Bird.
I thought you were talking about Stephen Bird
too. Thought you said Bird.
Birds.
I knew what he said. Hey, he made a nice throw on a fake.
Whoa,
nice
whoa. Fourth-string quarterback. Bryce Burton. Keegan, who you got rushing touchdowns?
I wanted to make like an outlandish take and say Emery Jones, but I'm just going to go Kiner. But they used him in the red zone a lot in the rushing game.
They did.
So I think that's interesting to see what he's going to do in that kind of phase of the game. But I'm going to go Kiner.
All right. Receptions, not necessarily receiving yards or touchdowns, but receptions.
So
I'll say.
Go ahead.
I'll say. That's tough.
It's tough because there's going to be 7 guys they throw the ball to regularly.
I know.
Right.
think.
I'm going to say Xavier Henderson based on their chemistry.
Okay. Chad?
I want to say Braden Smith, but I think Aaron Turner is going to get enough stats there where it kind of they both get the ball fed to them out of the slot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go the possession guy because I think this is a guy that Emery Jones is going to go to a lot on third down, a lot when they need 7, 8, 9 yards. I'm going to go Donovan Ollie.
Okay.
I think he's gonna be that guy. He might not have the flashy like yardage numbers at the end, but I think most games you're gonna see him 5, 6 receptions like consistently. So I'll go off the board a little bit and go Donovan Ollie, who could also, because he looks so much like Chris Scott, that you could add his catches and Chris Scott's catches together and have them be one.
Okay. There we go. Royer, who you got?
I don't really know, to be honest with you.
Great answer.
Yeah, sometimes you got to say. I don't know.
Right. I love it.
I do not know enough about the receiver room and how they did in camp to know what to expect, who Emery likes, what kind of guys they like, and what kind of situations. So I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry.
Keek, who you got?
D. Wiggins, basically exactly what Chad said about Donovan Ollie, but I'm choosing someone different.
I mean, we're all hitting on all cylinders here.
Yeah.
Because everyone's naming a different wide receiver, and the funny thing is, I was hoping it would get all the way back to me, and you would not have said D. Wiggins, and I would have had the opportunity to make it completely different all the way around. But yeah, I agree with you. I think if he stays healthy, I think obviously that's the main thing with D. He's struggled, at Louisville and at Miami with health issues. So if he stays healthy, it seemed like his name was one that we were hearing a lot. And then, Braden Smith happened, and we started to hear his name a lot.
Well, and he had a little bit of a soft tissue issue for a couple days that kind of slowed him down.
Yeah, so we'll see.
That is one thing about Xavier Henderson is I'm pretty sure he's coming in here completely healthy from his years at Florida compared to the rest of the wide receiver room. So he could really step up.
I don't think Donovan Ollie's got a big injury history.
Yes, but I think Xavier Henderson is a better football player than Donovan Ollie at the end of the day. So I would expect more out of Xavier Henderson than Donovan Ollie.
Xavier Henderson, which leads me right into the next question. Receiving yards. Aaron, quick.
I'm also going to take Xavier Henderson for that same reason. I think he's going to be a comfort blanket for Emery.
Okay. Chad?
I'll go Braden Smith yards.
Okay. Royer, another, I don't know. Give you. Okay.
He said, "Skip me."
There's the mute. Keegan, who you got?
This is an outlandish take, just because I think it's potential and he's been talked about. But I think Aaron Turner.
Mm-hmm.
I think Aaron Turner could have a really, really big year, and they can use him in multiple ways: screens, middle of the field, deep down the field. So I think there's a lot of potential.
I'm also with Aaron Xavier Henderson. I just think, hey, you hit like 5 big splash plays. All of a sudden, you've got 400 yards, 300 yards.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that works best for Henderson is a lot of these guys are just going to be compiling catches, but not maybe necessarily like massive yards, where Xavier Henderson looks like the guy that they're going to try to go over the top with.
Yeah, like Louisville's their top receiver last year, Tyler Hudson. He, 69 for 1,034 yards and 2 touchdowns. He led the team with a 15-yard catch average for guys that caught more than 7 passes. So, it's kind of goes hand in hand with getting the splash play and having the ability to compile the stats. Lastly, receiving touchdowns. Let's see if we can get a tight end out there. Aaron, go ahead.
No, I don't want to take the tight end. I'm gonna say Braden Smith on this one.
Okay, Chad.
I'll give you what you want. I'll go Peyton Singletary.
Wow, I like it. Royer, are we?
I think they'll go to him a lot in the red zone.
Okay.
Once again, taking this time to not give an opinion on that, but I will say the wideout is dog shit, and it should never be done ever again. And that is my statement.
Okay. Sounds good. Keegan, who
Nippert should never be a whiteout. Let it be
True.
known.
I like that.
Yeah.
Here's what I will say, Ryan. I typically agree with you. I don't mind it in week 1. It's hot. Like, it's going to be 87 degrees and sunny.
Show your love. Blackout. Come on.
It's hot. I don't mind a whiteout week 1.
Hey, man. The blackout is the blackout. There's no weather-based
Ryan, if they're trying to sell merchandise too, man. This gets if you have a red themed game, a black themed game, a white themed game, you're gonna have the white themed game during the 90-degree day, not the cold wintry day where you're trying to bundle
principle.
up.
Did they announce what the jerseys are going to be? Are they going to be white as well?
Not yet.
I mean, it's always. I'm thinking Purdue 42-6. They were in all white. So
man, that Purdue game was
that was one of the hottest days ever.
So hot.
Munchie go, baby. Just a goat.
I was like, you would like drink a little bit of your beer, and then all of a sudden you would like drink it again. It's like boiled water. I was like, oh gosh, what's that? All right, Keith.
Xavier Henderson. That's where I think his height and athleticism comes into play. I think he gets a normal amount of red zone looks and normal routes, and then a decent amount of jump balls, fades. And also, if he gets in there, Evan Prater has looked very good in the end zone in camp. So I think he could have a sneaky good year.
Okay. The old Cardinals of Louisville only managed to muster 13 receiving touchdowns last year as a team. Leading the way was tight end Marshawn Ford with 3. So I surely hope that number is a lot higher for the Bearcats this year.
Peyton Singletary. Here we go.
Peyton Singletary wins with 3 touchdowns.
Oh, right fielder, defensive end from Georgia, Peyton Singletary. Take it home. Real quick, defense tackles. Aaron.
I will say Deshaun Pace.
Okay. Chad.
Yes, sir. Deshaun Pace.
All right. Royer, you got some.
You have to know this one.
Going with Dorian Jones.
Okay. I like it.
Debo. That's my punk.
Yeah, that's his nickname.
Debo, okay. Come on, Debo.
Makes it even nicer.
Man, my grandmama gave me that chain.
Keegan, who you got?
No contest, Jack Dingle.
Okay.
Keegan just likes people that talk to him.
Yeah,
Emery
him and
Jones
their
and
dads
Jack
do
Dingle, that's
too.
his answer to everything.
You can almost hear his starry eyes.
Yeah. Some might say he's an Adonis, which Scott Satterfield said in an interview, like on wax. Some might say he's an Adonis.
You poisoned his mind already.
And I did this behind the camera.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody even knows it came from us. I just think it's something that people say now.
You put that in the article. I was like,
Yeah,
nice.
I did. Directly
Like
from chat.
It's like a subtweet, sub article posting. But let's. I mean, Deshaun Pace is the obvious answer, which is why I'm gonna go with. Yeah, sure, Deshaun Pace. There you go. Next, we're gonna combine these two because of time. Let's go tackles for loss and sacks combined.
Corleone.
Aaron.
Corleone.
Gresham.
Gresham.
Roy or Corleone.
I'm godfathered up, man.
Hey, baby.
Have you had the pizza, Royer?
From Mio's?
Yeah, it's good. It's
No.
good.
Give me an excuse to go down there, man.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
What is it?
I mean, I haven't been to Mio's
Bacon,
in so long.
hamburger,
Bacon,
meat,
ground beef, jalapenos,
extra
and something else.
that's
Pepperoni.
Some tasty goodness, right?
Pepperoni, bacon, ground beef, and jalapenos.
Sounds like a Saturday night.
It's
God bless the Godfather.
Amen.
God bless indigestion.
Amen.
God bless heartburn.
Keep the Tums on lock.
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach,
gas
diarrhea.
How about before one of the games, we go there, we each get a beer tower, we each get a Godfather large, and see.
And then go
who
work.
can leave Mio's first.
We work, bro.
Work.
Working
I mean-
and eating and drinking.
He's like, the beer tower was just for me. I don't know.
I drank
How
all
early
5
do
beer
y'all
towers.
get there? How early do you guys get there?
I usually get there about 2.5, 3 hours before kickoff, and then I go in about 90 minutes prior. So
Yeah,
usually about
plenty
an
of
hour
time.
at the tailgates. I don't drink before games. I don't have Roy. The problem is I don't have an off switch. So if I start drinking, I'm not going to stop drinking, and they don't allow me alcohol on the sidelines.
Yes.
So that
I
presents
see.
a problem.
Tell you what, those field level suites could make it a little easier, though.
slide your hand over the little railing, pick it up.
There's
take a
usually at least one BCJ member in every field level suite.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
if I,
I
picture.
agree.
You could.
if I wanted to be bad, I could be bad.
Let's
As
go.
that's
Let's go with yes. We will all drink one day and come on and tell everyone how it was on the pod that following Monday. I think that'd be a great summer podcast.
Following the Oklahoma win.
Ooh,
We'll go after the
Anyways,
Oklahoma win. How about
Murphy's was nuts.
Brent
I ate 10 hot dogs.
ate 10 hot dogs, threw up on the bar.
that?
It was gross and so good at the
Tried
same
to-
time.
Chad has to come on and say, okay, I have an announcement. Brent has been fired for his absence after the game against Oklahoma.
We went around the horn one too many times.
Oh, no.
But anyway, so let's go with takeaways. Deshaun Pace was led the team in takeaways 2 years ago for the Bearcats. Takeaways. Javon Hicks led the country in takeaways. What was that? 4 years ago? Yeah, when he filled in for Wiggins. So,
19.
hey man, this is a takeaway defense. Who we got takeaways? Aaron.
I'm gonna go with Brian Threats.
I know. Gosh, that was gonna be my zesty pick too. Oh well, Chad.
As Dave has talked about when talking about the turnover abilities of this defense, a lot of it comes from pressure resulting in arm punts, and that usually bodes well for safeties.
Okay.
Threats is all fucking over the place. I mean, that's still the crazy. He runs 2,000 more yards than everybody.
It's not crazy though if you watch him.
I know, but like just hearing the number, is insane.
Oso,
So,
right?
I'll go
Oso
dressed.
out there.
Yeah.
All right, Royer. Who we got?
I'm going DP, man.
Hey, baby.
It's a layup. I'm gonna take the layup. I won't try to manufacture some
Heck.
fucking hot spicy picks just to get some shit
how is
going.
threat
You all know.
spicy?
You know DP is gonna be the number one turnover guy this year. He is primed. He's in his best spot to make plays he's been in, and he already made more plays than threats when he wasn't.
So just let him cook.
Yeah.
Let him cook. Keegs, who you got?
Is a forced fumble a takeaway?
Let's go with for this exercise, we'll say yes.
Daniel Gresham.
Okay.
And
think
coming off
fumbles?
strip sacks, I think he's going to feast.
Do you think he has at least one INT in the mix, or
No,
He drops in the
probably
coverage
not.
a good deal. Like
Tip drill?
And I've seen him get his hands on a couple balls.
All right, I'm going to say no. I do not think he'll have an interception,
okay?
but anything can
But
happen.
you're going-
Deontay Corleone can get an interception this year, and it wouldn't surprise me. So
Jabari Taylor scored the touchdown last year.
exactly. So
And then needed oxygen.
He ran the wrong way. Ran to the wrong bench.
Dom Perry
guy
scored a
can't-
touchdown last year.
Fat guys can't be making that critical error when you're celebrating a touchdown to run to the wrong bench. You got a long way to go to get back home.
I'll go Team Royer on this one. Deshaun Pace, baby. And he's going to get into the end zone not once but twice this year. How about that? Throw it on there.
2 pick sixes or a pick six and a fumble scoop and score.
Man, let's go with a
Because I think he could blow somebody up in the flat
right
and get an easy scoop.
or have a pick like that one he had against against Brady Lichtenberg where you jump high enough and you're not expecting it, and then all of a sudden you Jabril Peppers your way all the way to the end zone.
if
Not
he
Jabril,
lays someone out in the
Julius.
flat and also picks up the fumble and scores, his signing bonus just went up like a couple $1 million.
He's Jadeveon Clowney and Jabril Peppers mixed. There you go. Yeah, no, I agree. It's going to be a sight to see. We'll see. Julius Peppers. That was the name I was searching for there. Because we are
Jabril.
I mean, he was good too.
Yeah.
He was.
He was.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Heck,
you're right.
if DP has the Jabril Peppers here, we're since he's looking doggone good. Anyway, let's wrap it up with who is the leading gunner and who has the most punt returns or kickoff returns. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on
Braden
this.
Smith. I think
Braden
he's going to
Smith.
be the punt and kick returner. So
He getting the nod.
that's what I mean. Or
The oars. Okay.
I'll go Braden Smith.
Gunner as well.
No, I don't think he's a gunner.
Xavier Henderson.
Xavier Henderson.
Xavier Henderson and Aaron Turner have been the primary gunners so far.
Okay. I like it. Anyone else from you guys?
I think we all had the same. I think we all had the same answer here.
Yeah.
If the guy's going to return kicks and punts, it would logic to reason that he was going to be the best kick and punt returner.
You know what? I say your math counts out there pretty doggone nicely.
I mean, I went to public school in Kentucky, but
it wasn't EKU though. There you go. That's right.
EKU's college. Yeah.
The Colonels are coming into town on Saturday. Last thing, it's going to be guess that spread. Aaron, guess that spread. What? You want to talk about basketball? We don't have anything to talk about.
No, I was just laughing because we're going to have our first timestamp at an hour 40.
Well, you could have timestamped all those segments.
Cats by 90.
Okay. Guess that
That's
spread.
your
It's not
official
available yet.
89.5.
That's my official guess. Cats by 90.
Okay.
89.5, and Aaron's
Smith
taking
got
the over.
89.5. We're just guessing that spread because, Chad, you're going to post the score prediction article later in the week. So just guess that spread because it's not available right now.
I'll go 27.5.
Yeah.
30.5.
30.5. Okay.
23.5.
Okay. Yeah.
God damn, boys.
I was going to go like 19.5.
This is an FCS team.
Yeah, but it's one of the highest scoring FCS teams in the country. And
they returned
staff.
arguably the best player in FCS. I mean, probably not the best player, but one of the best players. He was his conference player of the year last year.
We don't win by 35, it's a failure.
Okay. So
I'm going to ask Satterfield that tomorrow.
Mr. Bearcat Ryan Royer says if you don't win by 35, it's a failure. Your thoughts?
Hey, Coach Sat, 30.5 is the guess my spread. If you don't cover that, you are a failure. Your thoughts?
Hey,
35 or go to hell, get a job.
I'm with Chad. I think 27.5. Maybe if they're confused with the unknowns, maybe it might be closer to that 23.5 number, like Keegan said, or like maybe it's like a 22, just to kind of make you think, like, oh gosh, a backdoor 21 point. That scares me. So, yeah, we'll see though. It should be a pretty high number. It normally is. But
do you take 27.5, Chad? Take him to cover. I know Royer would take him at 30.5.
Probably, yeah, probably.
Okay.
They should win.
I think ultimately
they should win.
Wears them down.
They should, yeah. In my head, they should win like 49-14, 56-7.
Yeah. I mean, I think these games against FCS teams, the difference is in the trenches. And when you have a dominant defensive line like Cincinnati has, like EKU shouldn't be able to gain a yard. And then that makes them one-dimensional.
Not 1 yard?
Shouldn't be able to.
Not 1 yard.
Gain another yard.
I think that we should just
over under 1.5 yards. Greg is betting the under.
I'll take the over on that bet because I'm a smart gambler. But yeah, I think
we should be pressuring every second and third down. And we don't even technically need to pressure second down. We just line the boys up and let them go. You give them no time to get anything past the sticks. And because we shouldn't, like, if with Corleone and the D line, if we do handle our business, it should be 3rd and 7 every single time if they try to run the ball twice. So I think that we should send the fucking house at them and see what they make their receivers beat our guys one-on-one. And they should have nothing on offense, and we should have unlimited drives to just score and score and score. So that's what I'm thinking.
It'll be interesting to see how, if they are vanilla at all, or if they decide to actually go, we're going to show them our blitz packages. We're going to show them different things on offense that we have hidden, or if they kind of hold those back unless break glass in case of emergency type situation. So
we got to get this engine tuned up for Pitt, man. That's some serious shit. Week 2.
I agree.
It's going to be a tough ass game, so we better get every bit of this machine.
Get your shit together.
Yeah, get it going. Get it going now.
35 or bust.
Yes.
Hey, they're also playing UK next week, aren't they? EKU?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, the next week.
We could be a look-ahead game for them.
Well,
they're kind of excited to play in-state rival, and then
Keegan, it's kind of funny because however much you can listen to EKU news, the coach was talking, and I listened to what he was saying. He said that they're game planning for both Cincinnati and Kentucky at the same time. So they've been like scheming against both teams. So
because those teams play the same.
I mean, I don't know why he would say that. Most coaches are like, we're focused on EKU.
Yeah.
Like not looking ahead at all. But he straight up said, the other day we focus on Cincinnati. Then the following day, we focused on Kentucky. So, like you said, who knows? Maybe they let it be after an early trample. But yeah, let's go ahead and timestamp this. That was it's week 1 in college football. Bearcats are back. That's a good timestamp.
I hope the first quarter doesn't go as long as that first segment. Holy shit. That's a Quick Paper timestamp. Quick Paper Supply, your local and family-owned business restaurant supply company for all your non-food products. Quick Paper services over 150 restaurants with weekly low minimum next-day deliveries, providing a wide range of food service products from to-go containers, cups, custom printed products, eco-friendly, and much more. They also have cleaning and restroom supplies for all your janitorial needs. Call Nick, 513-470-2029, and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases.
There we go. I mean, I don't know. There's not much to touch on with basketball. Looks like they were back practicing. Aziz Bandaga has a nice looking haircut. He's got the red in his hair now. It looks nice.
The worm.
Yeah, the worm. No update on the waivers. Chad is just sit and wait now.
Yeah, no, I have all of the information. I'm just not.
Chad, I was just asking for you to maybe just expand upon
the
situation on waivers right now.
I've done that like 43 times.
Well, you haven't done it on the BBP yet, so
the NCAA sucks. They have not started basketball waivers. We probably won't have a decision until late October, early November at the earliest. And
but they have been submitted, right?
No,
they have not. Okay.
No.
Okay, so it'll be a hurry up and wait situation as
they haven't even started on the basketball waivers. Like, why would they start? Why would they submit?
Yeah.
If the NCAA hasn't even like opened the book on that part of the process.
Right. Yeah. It'll
see what happens.
We will.
Where does that door? What does that thing belong to?
I've been laughing at that comment.
A window?
Several times over here.
Yeah.
Where Steven said, Keegan with the screen door leaning against the wall, Royer with the air register. What a pair. We are game week ready.
Yeah.
Why don't one of you tell me I got that damn fan blowing on my shit that loud? Would have turned it down.
No, I think he was just pointing at like that's all that's in your
register
background.
Right above your background. Like right.
Oh, air register. I thought air register was like an audio register. Like
No. Like you're literally there's air coming out the thing above the door.
The only thing that you can see is just that's the only thing in your room, and Keegan.
That's a vent to me. I don't know. I've never called it a register.
Okay. Well, Keegan, what does that belong to?
I don't know. It's like a window screen.
It's a window screen? You're in a room without a fucking window.
I have a window.
There's a window in there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know that. The air you take it out for the
I'm still in my college like room days, even though I'm not in college anymore, so I haven't acclimated to being an adult yet.
I don't pay you enough for central air. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I have a whole box of Rice Krispie treats.
I'm not convinced he's not in an Airbnb.
I'm not. I can say that much.
Still,
my house is actively being remodeled, and like all I have is a bed. So I have a bed and Wi-Fi, which is really awesome.
And an in-wall air unit and a screen from the window.
Yep. And a PS5.
Hey, that's a classic. Take the screen out so you can sneak out late night. And used to do that back in the high school days. So yeah, I see you with the screen out, ready to roll. That is game time ready. That's a good point, Steven. But other basketball news aside from that, with the waiver suck. Cincinnati, Jaden Quaintance is obviously just a guy who the Bearcats are hot after. He had a recent article posted with Eric Bossi where he mentioned that he will be visiting Cincinnati October 13th. That's a game against Iowa State. I also believe that's homecoming, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big weekend. He had this to say about Cincinnati. I liked it. Got to talk to the coaches. Got to see practice. Got to see a game. I really liked Cincinnati. I think that was my very first unofficial visit. So
I met him while he was there.
Yeah. So
He was a baby. He was like a freshman in high school, I think.
There we go. He's another name to follow.
I just want to say I love in those interviews when you can tell that the guy like really isn't interested in elaborating on stuff, because I'm pretty sure it got to the last school and he just said, "Yeah, the same as the rest of them." That was his answer for like Pitt.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, some kids will give you the best answers ever, detail like coaches, like what they did, and some kids are just like, "Yeah, this is what's happening."
Yeah, he said this about Pittsburgh. Pretty much like the other visits. I got to talk to the coaches, see the practice, tour the campus, and see it all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are how those articles go, and you wonder if it's like a texting type thing when you text the recruits and they 1-word responses or 2-word responses, and you're like, all right, let's turn this into an article. We'll figure it out somehow, some way. Anything else on the basketball front of things? I mean, obviously, this is football week 1, so
no.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I guess there's nothing else other to do than timestamp and mailbag. Unless there's no football recruiting, there's no. I mean, Bearcats in the NFL. Shout out to Ivan Pace, Tyler Scott got some big praise from Matt Eberflus, saying that they love him. Jason Kelsey, the documentary looks like it's going to be awesome. Yeah. Aside from that,
I have a game day logistical question for clarity in my Twitter replies for Chad or anyone that can answer. Is the TUC, has that always been in the stadium's perimeter?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Because I have people debating in my replies saying that it wasn't.
I don't know. I don't.
But they just announced today that it is. Like they said, it is in the perimeter and you can go in and get food and use the restroom and do re-entry. Then some guy in my comments is like, I've been doing that for the past 2 years and I haven't gotten in trouble. So
maybe it wasn't supposed to be, but I've never heard of anybody not being able to do it. I guess is the right way to put it.
Got it.
Can there be football recruits on campus this weekend? I believe so, because it is September. I think August is dead.
Just don't ever leave your bike chained up outside of TUC on a Sunday after a football game, because it will get stolen.
Are you speaking from experience?
Yeah, if you have to have like team dinner at Mick and Max when you guys are 4-8 and you're terrible and you have to ride your bike in, and then you park it, you chain it up outside, you go into Mick and Max, you come back out, your bike's stolen. Just be careful over there, guys. Watch out.
Sounded pretty personal, but
at least you're not still bitter.
Was it a cool bike? Schwinn?
He needs one of those sales jobs to get a new bike.
Might have been
You're
a Schwinn.
me, man. Maybe it's commission based for the new Schwinn.
Did you have pegs?
Oh hell yeah, man!
Oh yeah.
Part of my freshman hazing was I had to give the D linemen rides on the pegs to and from practice.
There you go. That sounds like a fun ride.
Once I heard him say hazing, I was like, oh boy.
Oh yeah. For us, man. Heard it here first.
All right, Aaron.
Wait, time out. I had to get back to the camera here for a second. You used to have to ride Cortez and Cope around campus on the pegs on your bike, on your Schwinn?
Yes, I'm 100% being serious.
Oh.
There's not enough air for
you guys thought it was bad.
How did your back tires survive?
You thought Northwestern was bad, bro.
I wasn't going to say it. It came.
I was giving people rides at until 1 a.m. And Coach Fickle told me he'd kick me off the team if I didn't do it.
Hey, I don't know.
If you think I'm serious and you report me to the NCAA, I don't even know. I
don't know if you read the articles about Northwestern, but I will say that Northwestern was worse.
Oh,
that's
I
a
read
quick
it.
paper supply timestamp, Chad. Chad, that's what that is. It's a quick paper supply timestamp.
Quick paper supply. Brought to you by
your local and family-owned restaurant supply company for all of your non-food products. Call Nick at 513-470-2029. Reference Bearcats and get 20% off of your first month of purchases. We're going to mailbag it up. I believe you still have a couple days left for the home field to take advantage of the home field apparel sponsorship. Home field is offering 50% off when you enter promo code BCJ23. I don't, Brent, do you have any home field stuff?
I do. I'm not currently wearing it, but I do.
It's like the softest of all of the Bearcat stuff that I own, whether you're getting the hoodie, whether you're getting the t-shirts, it's the best.
I agree.
They have a growing collection of over 150 colleges to choose from, including your favorite team.
Oh,
they have a dedication to delving into the archives and history of each school. They discover unique logos, mascots, and iconic moments to create thoughtfully designed apparel. I wear the t-shirts all the time. I have the Great Midwest Conference Tournament Champion shirt, and I have the 1956 Baseball Conference Champion shirt, I think it is.
It's a cool shirt.
And then my two favorite hoodies. I've got the joggers. I've got the quarter zip. Like I love home field apparel. 15% off. Promo code BCJ23. Support the people who support us. Go to homefieldapparel.com and get your UC gear for this season.
That's only till the end of the month?
I don't have a date on it expiring yet.
Okay.
So until further notice.
All right.
All right, let's quick hit these, baby.
We say that every week.
I just do it.
All right. Mailbag. Thank you for your submissions. We actually had a decently full mailbag this week. Even saw one that had been added. Two have been added since we started the show. Starting off the football portion of the mailbag, how about a quick rundown of the new clock rules for the upcoming season? How you guys think it will affect the games? Do you think UC's increased emphasis on the run game with Sat's new offense and wearing out the defense with the outside zone concept will give us an advantage late in games with these new rule changes? I did see somebody had done a rundown of the couple of games that were week 0, and the games were not
longer.
Yeah, well, that's because they took the time down, but they added more commercials.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
What? I mean, like the main changes are clock just runs after first downs, unless it's the last 2 minutes of the of each half, and then it's just you can't call a timeout and then come back from the timeout and then call another timeout, and I think that's pretty much it as far as the clock situations for new rules.
I think you're running about 6 plays less per team. I think that's what it's come down to at this point on a very small sample size, obviously.
Yeah, but the games are still taking longer to play because they've now added more commercials, which goes right along with ESPN running a long segment on Saturday about how greed and money is ruining the sport.
We're gonna shorten the actual gameplay, but we're gonna lengthen the games.
It's just the Spider-Man meme.
The Spider-Man,
pointing at each other.
This goes back to what I said. Just charge them more for commercials and have less. It's the same people who are buying all the commercials anyway. There's only 5 commercials that run in a game.
The more you dig into it, there's only actually 5 companies in America.
Well, don't even get me started.
And Amazon owns 4 of them.
You're going to get conspiracy theorist Aaron coming out.
Where's the tinfoil? Where's the tinfoil?
I want to get a beer with that, Aaron.
Oh yeah, me too.
All right.
Do you think UC's increased emphasis on the run game? Go ahead.
Who knows? The games are still long. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Navy runs the triple option, and that game just took forever.
No, that was actually the one game that was like quicker.
It still felt like it took forever though.
It did.
Yeah, I looked down in the first quarter after like 2 drives and there was 3 minutes left.
Felt like it took forever because it was close.
It was?
The Navy Notre Dame game?
Oh, I thought you were talking about UC Navy.
No, Navy Notre Dame. Saturday when college football started. We're talking about the college football season.
Yeah, that game was not close.
Game 0. All right, next question.
What's the plan to replace Mick and the Cruton coverage? Thanks.
We don't cover recruiting anymore. Sorry, Bearcat Nation 11. That left with Mick.
Sounds good. Next question.
Honestly, like the way that we have been kind of surveying this, the way that things work anymore, once you get to the season, recruiting is essentially done. Like there's a couple things that happen, like, an official visit here or whatever. But in the off season from, February to June is kind of the recruiting season for that cycle. So for right now, for the time being, Keegan is going to handle that outside of his like in-season responsibilities. And then if something pops up, we'll handle it as a team.
All right. There you go.
We're not covering recruiting anymore. I gave up on it.
Yeah.
Just to annoy you. Okay,
can I say I actually thought that was your real answer for like 3 seconds. I thought it was just going to transition into the next question.
You're like, wow.
Lord. You
He's
I'm gonna get you a shirt. I was going to say, I'm going to get you a shirt that literally just says rookie. This one is mostly for Ryan, but can someone please tell me why Luke Fickell didn't run Des Ridder against Alabama? I thought for sure they were saving him all season for the big game. We know our offensive line had a disadvantage against the Bama defensive line. Someone please help me understand this so that I can finally put the issue to rest. And someone
if you haven't put the issue to rest by now, what Ryan tells you is not going to help you put the issue to rest.
Someone even told him in the comments, if you haven't gotten over it by now, I'm not sure Ryan is going to help you. But Ryan, here's your chance to answer this.
There was no plan to run Dez, and then that plan quickly evaporated when their D-line just had their way with us essentially the whole game. But we had no time. We couldn't run the ball. We had no time to pass the ball. We sure as hell probably couldn't have ran any option with it too, because they were probably going to just eat up both options with one guy. That's kind of just the way the game was up front.
Can I ask a question to Ryan about a former play?
Yes. Let's hear it.
No?
We already talked about that play once.
Oh, it's probably the actual play I'm thinking about.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Okay. Then we don't have to. Why did
the Georgia play where the guy made it All-American? Like that was the most against 99% of the teams in the country. That was the most wide open touchdown you ever would throw, and the guy made an incredible play.
No, I was talking about why they threw the ball at the end of the game when they should have ran the clock out, and then probably won.
I know. I just described why they did. 99% of the time, that is the most wide open touchdown pass ever.
Where
and
were they on the field?
40.
I think we should have ran the ball. I think we should have ran the ball, but the play call essentially worked.
And one of the options of that play call is for Dez to tuck and run the football.
Yeah, but in his vision, the guy was wide open running down the field, and the safety recognized it and just happened to be one of the freakiest. Like he was a first-round pick, wasn't he?
Yeah,
so.
I mean, he was a 5-star. He was like the number 5 prospect in the country coming out of
He made a freakish recognition of the play and got to the ball. 99 times out of 100, that ball is completed for massive chunk yardage and the game is over.
So you're okay with that play over a run?
Well, it was a run-pass option, and Dez saw the guy running wide open.
Okay.
I agree with you, Keegan. I think we should have just ran the ball straight up.
Okay.
Twice and then punted it if we didn't get it.
If you were a quarterback and you saw a guy running wide open to win the Peach Bowl, you don't throw him the ball? You just play
I mean,
conservative? That's
if
not the
I'm-
Ryan Royer I fucking know. The Ryan Royer I know puts his head in the fucking fan.
Ryan Royer wants that ball downhill, mano a mano. You want to run the fucking ball. You want to play run, stop, and defense on 3rd and 1. Well, we're going to run it at you, get the first down, and win the goddamn game. That's what I thought.
53-yard field goal, man. That is just insane. All right,
That's
Aaron,
the
next
other
question.
thing is the length of that, like the distance of that. It should never have been good.
No.
What a horrible
College-
trip down memory lane. I
Yeah.
hate everything. All right.
right.
Seeing freshman Raekwon Atkins listed as the third string boundary
Yeah,
corner.
terrible question, Keegan.
Is he and Barry Jackson the most likely freshman to play in a decent amount of snaps this season?
I mean, there's only 10 freshmen, so sure.
Odds are
Special
slim on
teams.
anybody.
Yeah. I mean,
All right.
third string, like third team, like you're still pretty. There's a bunch of guys in front of you before you
Right.
see the field as a third teamer. So maybe, I don't know. I guess
All right.
yes, no, maybe, I don't know.
You're
I
in a
thought
battle
Raekwon
to the
Atkins had a good camp, by the way.
You're in a
Yeah.
battle to the death, and you can choose one current UC football player to be your champion and fight for you. Who do you select and why? Because I asked the question, I'm going to answer first. Jawan Briggs. I can hide behind him. People won't even know I'm there. And he is going to fight to the death for me. I firmly believe that.
Oh,
Or
I
talk
know
them
what
out
I'm
of
thinking.
fighting. Or just
I know what I'm
simply
thinking.
talk them
I
out
mean,
of
I know
fighting.
my answer, and I think someone's going to take it before.
I think Chad's going to take mine.
Yeah, me too.
Threats.
Okay,
No.
am I still available?
Be very weary of the small, crazy motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, that dude has been in fights. That dude is not afraid of fights. That dude will fight you. Like be scared of the littlest dude that talks the most shit, because his mouth has gotten him in trouble before and he has had to fight his way out of it, and he is still alive. I will go Brian Threats.
All right, Royer.
Very fair. But I'm going to go with Jawan.
I mean, the biggest guy. He's the biggest, strongest guy. Like,
Dante's pretty doggone big and strong too.
With the combination of size and the actual amount of fights that they got in during camp, I'm going to go Mal Glenn.
Oh wow,
Mal Glenn likes to fight.
the whole
Me and Mal and I used to scrap so much, dude.
Mal likes to fight.
Freshman.
Like, Mal likes to fight. There's
The
no
Hulk,
two ways
baby.
around that.
He's insane. I love it though.
I'm gonna go with what Nico Palizzetti said. You know, the pit bull, the guy who you want in your corner, the guy who's gonna go out there, and if you tell him, you know, he loves you, he's gonna do everything he can for you. Deshaun Pace, give me DP. Pit bull.
It's a
For the
great
record,
question.
last year I would have gone with Lorenz Metz.
Mm-mm.
Big tree fall hard.
Mets had a soft side. Mets was a lover. Am I wrong, Royer? I love Mets. Mets
When he
was a
hurt
lover.
Bolden and cried.
Yeah.
That was
Mets
the
was a lover.
Bolden got stretchered out and then had to come back to camp in 2 hours with a neck brace on. Oh my god, that was the funniest shit.
I'm also gonna say Dante. Come on, that's a massive refrigerator human being right there.
I will say though, Royer, when Ferg almost died, Mets was just kind of like, it'll be fine if he dies.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like, everybody was like, it was the last. It was like camp had just ended. It's supposed to be like the most jovial point of the entire like football season, where coaches are getting thrown in the cold tubs and like everybody's screwing around and having a good time. And literally, like if you talk to anybody, they will tell you, like the medical staff, that's as scared as I've ever been, because we just couldn't like snap him out of it. And I like everybody was like head down, like somber, and Metz was sitting there, and I was, he just looked up and he was like, it'll be fine. He's fine. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like they got the paddles out, like They're putting him in the ambulance. I don't know. It'll be fine.
Yeah, man. He got calloused after he almost killed Bolden. We almost lost one of the Cincinnati grades.
Ryan, you may have to wait a game to answer correctly, but at what position do you think you would play in this defense? But A, what position do you think you would play in this defense? And B, would it have suited your skill set better than the defense you were in while actually playing?
He didn't actually play.
Yeah, you're right.
Against Texas A&M, he did.
Alabama A&M.
Alabama A&M.
I was
going to say,
those are very different schools. My bad.
Very different things.
We've been doing this for 2 hours, for God's sake.
I'd say I'd probably play either or the position that Debo or Dingle's playing. I think it would probably be about the same. Yeah, or as Denbrock admitted to the other week.
Yeah. Probably should have used Royer at fullback.
I'd say it's around the same. It'd probably be around the same. It might help having an extra D lineman in terms of like guys coming up to you, but I think blitzing up the middle and the pressure, I think that's something that I would have enjoyed and would have been kind of helpful to my game. But yeah, that's about it. Let's go to the next one.
Yep.
All right, biggest surprise on the depth chart. We all answered this question, but Keegan, who you got as your biggest surprise on the depth chart?
You said Singletary was above Shaman,
right?
No,
just or.
It's or, but he is listed above him, and then it's or. They're both bold for whatever that's worth.
Okay, I would say that would be my surprise, in just that, like, Shaman wasn't like the A1, but I know how they do tight ends. They like to have two really good ones, just because of the camp that Shaman had. I didn't get to see Peyton a lot. I think he kind of popped off at the end a little bit more, but Shaman
when
was
you were on vacation.
Yeah, when I took an August vacation.
Cruising.
Shaman was just so consistent with his hands and making big plays, and he was blocking well too. So, but that's not much to say. I mean, you want to have two tight ends, and they have two good ones.
All right. If Fickle did not leave, would your expectations be different for this year? I think we can all agree emphatically, yes. You wouldn't have had the turnover.
They were picked 13th. 13th.
Yeah. I think the answer is yes, and we can move on because I think that's a pretty self-explanatory question.
How many Jello shots does Dave consume this year at home games?
How many Jello shots do they make?
How many home games are there?
7.
7
home games.
I'll go 70.
10 at each
10,
one?
10 a game, yeah.
70? Over under at 69 and
69.5. I'll take the over.
Yeah, I'll take the over.
I also will take the over.
I'll take the over.
I like it! Royer!
All right, that is the football portion of the mailbag. Moving on to the basketball portion of the mailbag. Just for fun, if we ended up needing a big man as a walk-on from this year's football team, who is the best candidate and who would be the most fun candidate?
Yeah, fun question.
Sammy
Cam
Anderson?
Jones would probably be the most fun.
Yeah.
A big man. A big man.
Cam, yeah.
Cam Jones with like armbands and a headband on.
Yeah. At 6'9", 330 pounds.
With the hair going down the back.
Throwing his body around.
You can't even see his name. You can't see his nameplate on the back of the jersey.
5,002 minutes.
He's got his number shaved in the side of his head.
He still wears 69 as a basketball player.
You can't. I thought you had to have 0 through 5 as your last number.
Right. Yeah. No, it's both numbers.
They make an exception for him.
As both numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both numbers even.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely the most fun.
For sure. Best candidate, Shaman.
Yeah, for sure.
6'5", I mean, he had
Basketball
a triple-double in high
pass.
school. He's got a basketball pass. I'm told the best basketball player on the team is Donovan Ollie.
Okay.
Apparently, he was a
Xavier
pretty
Henderson
good
would probably be pretty good too.
and obviously Evan is pretty good.
Evan is pretty good.
Last summer, I recall Landers dominating the shooting stats for their timed shooting drills. Any indication how those went this summer? Any standouts?
Don't know those numbers at this point. I'm not allowed to have any information about workouts. They are not to be publicized. Media is not allowed to attend. If I did have that information and relayed it to you, it would be a violation of NCAA protocol and would result in a secondary violation. So that is unfortunately an answer I don't have. Blame the coaches.
The
I love that.
Or the NCAA.
No, it's a rule that was brought forward through the coaches, and then the coaches complain about the fact that the rule is in place and nobody can come to practice, when all they'd have to do is propose to the NCAA that the rule be changed, and the rule would be changed.
Hooray, compliance.
Right.
I'm still down for saying like Royer walked onto the basketball team so that he can go to practices.
Yeah. He's got a year.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Any visitors planned for this weekend? Heard anything about some type of Bearcat madness planned for the public? ?
Guys, if I have this information, it will be on the board. I promise. Like, you don't have to ask in the mailbag for like I know, I get it, but like I don't know anything about a Bearcat Madness. I have not heard anything planned, and I don't think that they're going to spend official visit weekends on EKU. So if there are visitors, they would probably be of the younger 2025, 2026 variety that they just happen to kind of get on campus for the game. And if those are planned, we'll have those for you later in the week. But right now, so far, the official visits look to be the Oklahoma game and homecoming for Iowa State.
All right. With the two bags I'm assuming he meant bigs, but with the two bigs not getting waivers, do you think Sage get some of those quality minutes that Reynolds was going to get?
The waivers have not been decided, so that is an inaccurate statement. I don't know what else to say. We're still waiting on the NCAA. If they don't, yeah, sure, Sage could get some of those quality minutes.
Hurry up and wait.
Would have to.
Right. Somebody's got to play. Like, there are minutes to be had.
All right. And the Banks portion of the mailbag, where we actually had more than just skins this week, oddly enough. Rapid fire. What is worse, a porn stash or a pretentious soul patch? They're both terrible. I'll go porn stash.
The soul patch is worse.
Soul patch is worse.
Soul patch, yeah.
At least the stash like has some funny, like
it's got some class.
Yeah.
People can rock a good stash.
I hate mustaches. Who has a better mustache, Tom Selleck or Sam Elliott?
Tom Selleck. Not even close.
I feel like a great mustache just comes with age. Like, you're just supposed to have one.
You got to grow into a great mustache.
Yeah.
Although Sam Elliott's got a good one.
Like, I'm sure, yeah, but it's not Tom Selleck.
Yeah, but Sam Elliott is his voice. Like, that's why we know Sam Elliott. We know Tom Selleck because of his mustache.
That's an accurate statement, Keegan.
Yeah. A Star is Born. Great movie, man. Wow. All right, continue.
Making up for all
Love
those
that movie.
rookie comments earlier, Keegan. Good job. Surprised you know who Sam Elliott and Tom Selleck even are.
And the ranch and what commercial does he do? Is it Dodge?
I don't know. I don't watch commercials.
Great voice, man.
Assuming Brent becomes a father, maybe he is already. Over under on how many dad jokes he makes a day.
All of them.
all of the dad jokes.
All of them. Every
Let's just
dad
do
joke,
the same
every
lines for guess that line.
I'm
23,
gonna-
30, and 27.
I will segue from one dad joke to the next.
Yeah, every dad joke will be connected to the previous dad joke.
Amen. And they will all be sponsored by Danco Transmission and Auto Care. Shouts to Danco.
It's like the same joke I told to every new nurse we met in the hospital. What's an 80-year-old man's penis smell like?
Oh God.
Depends.
Moving on.
I wouldn't call that a dad joke, but
I mean, it's cheesy, it's stupid, it's a dad joke.
The Johnny Knoxville dad joke there.
Somebody's dad's 80. Follow-up question. Who is more irritating as a main character? Ted Mosby on How I Met Your Mother or Caillou?
Fuck Caillou.
yeah, Chad, didn't you have that crazy ass line before? I swear,
Fuck
I've heard
Caillou.
you say that.
Yeah, fuck that kid.
Is
That
it
kid was an
irritating or entertaining?
Irritating.
I thought Ted was fine, so I'll
Of
say
course
I
he
didn't watch it, so
I liked How I Met Your Mother. It was an
I
entertaining
thought-
show. They screwed up the end, but the show was good.
I thought Ted was kind of irritating, but Caillou's the worst. The worst.
Deep down, we
Fuck
all
that.
know, like late night, some nights, Chad makes sure everyone's asleep and slowly turns on Caillou and just takes in an
Absolutely
episode or two.
Kelsey is sitting next to me. She actually liked Caillou, which spurred
I liked Caillou
my.
too.
Oh, you fuck.
All right.
Moving on.
Following Skins, Porn Stash mentioned this one is for Chad and Aaron since they have daughters, though Brent and Ryan can feel free to chime in. Eventually, your daughters will bring home a boy. If she brings home one of the following pictured below, what is your reaction? A, do you trust your daughter and say nothing?
I trust my daughter as far as I could throw her.
You do too trust me.
B, do you laugh hysterically and slam the door shut in the poor sap's face, nearly rubbing the dirt off his lip? C, do you give him the Al Bundy for Married with Children and bang his head against the door frame before tossing him
That's
out
one
the
of my
door?
favorites.
Or-
Bang!
Or D, do you give him the Uncle Phil jazz treatment from Fresh Prince where you just toss his whole body out of the house as far as you can? P.S. One of these fine gentlemen sporting the lip squirrel is Skins.
I'll go Al Bundy. I love the bounce the guy's head right off the door frame before tossing him out. Kelsey's
Aaron,
got a boyfriend now, so we're about to find out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna. I would go with B.
Yeah.
I think I would just laugh at the kid.
He seems like a good kid.
No, he doesn't.
I'd
I
have to,
can't
I'd
believe
have
one
to
of those
listen
people
to
is
him say
Skins.
a couple things
Yep.
and then watch.
One of those people with skins. I know which one.
nice to meet you, Skins.
It's the one that looks like you. Now that you look
At
like
least-
you bounced all three of their heads off a door frame. Honestly,
At least I now know one of three people to avoid in public.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Brother Skins, good seeing you there.
Good seeing you.
What are your thoughts on UFOs? Have they visited Earth before?
baby.
Do you believe?
yes.
There we
Do you
go,
believe?
Aaron. Let's go, Aaron.
Do
I can't
you
wait.
believe they are here now? Has the U.S.
Yes.
military recovered any alien crafts, as David Grush has
Yes.
alleged to Congress?
Nope.
Keegan,
Uh,
there is an alien society living in the depths of the ocean.
No.
Yes, there is.
How do you
I
know?
think UFOs are real.
Those
Those
are called fish that haven't been discovered yet because
No.
the ocean is freaking
They
insane.
have been discovered.
Aaron?
No,
Those
they
videos-
haven't.
Keegan, explain the pyramids. Explain the
Explain
pyramids.
the pyramids?
They got lucky.
No, I don't think they got lucky. I think that they built them.
No, you understand they are symmetrically perfect along like lines of latitude and longitude. They are
Yeah.
like
Chad, you're taking them down the wrong
miracles
path,
of the
though.
world. There's no
Have you
way the fucking Egyptians like just guessed and got that right. No way. No way.
What
I
lines?
agree, it's fishy. Have you seen
Go,
the
I
TikTok
don't know,
video?
a fucking sports guy covering UC. Go study the pyramids and they're like technological relevance for a society that supposedly wasn't advanced. It was done by aliens, Keegan.
UFOs are here. They've been here. They've visited Earth. They're still here. We have gotten remains of UFOs. We've gotten remains of
Aliens.
otherworldly beings, and all of it's true. And the fact that Jimmy Carter cried in office when he got all of the information about the aliens tells you everything that you need to know.
Keegan, Men in Black is real. They just made it to mock us.
Go
The
watch
aliens
the
made
Tic
Men
Tac
in Black.
video. David Fravor, the Navy pilot. It's confirmed DoD footage. It's your best first step into believing it. And they can't admit it because the moment they admit it,
They have admitted it.
the whole structure turns on its head.
They have admitted it.
Economy,
And for
the
some
whole
reason,
world.
as a society, we were just like, yeah, we knew that.
Because we did. All right.
No, I want to comment. I want to comment because I was just spoken over. My
Of course
thing
you
about the Congress. Going off what Chad just said about society ignoring it is because I think that the government does that to try to distract us from how they have ruined our country.
I agree
That's
with
what I
that.
think.
We weren't distracted. We ignored it.
So you're
Because no one can afford gas or food.
You're a Blue Beam guy.
He's too new. He didn't know that we don't talk politics on this show.
Yeah.
Moving on.
The Tiffany Gomez thing is pretty wild. If you read into a little bit more about what
Aliens
Are you
are
gonna-
fake,
are you-
but they
are you gonna-
want they make them
politics
fake
here, ever.
real.
Okay, he brought
so
up
that they can-
Congress.
All
You
right.
mentioned Congress.
All right. Just call it a red herring and move on. Did Ryan complete his homework from last week and watch a few episodes of The Golden Girls?
Hell nah, man.
0.
When's the last time you think Royer did homework?
Shit.
Alec Pierce did his homework in college.
No.
Yes,
And the last-
yes.
The last question, how much can y'all bench press UCF guy who has more money than any UC donor would like to know? There was a guy on Twitter.
Right
the
now,
main
I
bag.
don't know.
I can
Wait.
probably do the bar. I got the bar. I can rock the bar a couple times.
A UCF guy was asking how much all of us bench press.
There was a UCF guy saying he could bench press any UC graduate, and he has more money than any UC donor, and he's
So
Just
we
a
got
troll.
13 years
cool
old
ass
and lives in
dude,
his mom's basement.
he's a troll.
a cool guy.
275.
These are the people I don't
Let's
engage with.
go.
I haven't
Wow.
bench pressed since I
That's
broke
big
my
time.
collarbone like 6 years ago.
Ryan, what did you PR at?
What I PR at?
Yeah.
355. That wasn't even close to the shit guys were doing, dude.
Oh my
Those
god.
guys are putting up.
You thought you were stronger than Royer, didn't you? Thought you
No,
were as
not
strong
at
as
all.
Royer, didn't
Not
you?
at all.
You thought you were as strong as Royer.
No,
hey,
not
hey,
at all.
275 is good.
Okay, but what were they doing? Because Aaron Donald says 500 is his max.
We had guys repping 405.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ryan
it was
Royer
pretty
made
serious.
Luke Fickle's kid his bitch. You know that?
No, I knew Royer. I know Royer's stacked. Trust me.
That's the mailbag. Get us out of here, Brent.
Yeah.
Royer is stacked, and it is also week 1 of college football, baby. I tell you what, you know what, and I'm so happy to bring it all to you with all my beautiful pals here. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 of you guys. Anything else before we shut this one out, guys?
No, let's go.
Okay. Big shout out, of course, always to Quick Paper Supply. Big shout out to Home Field Apparel. Big shout out, of course, to our guy Danco Transmission and Danco Joe. But hey, week 1, 3:30 p.m. Nippert Stadium. The EKU Colonels come to town. It's going to be a dandy. Year 1 of Scott Satterfield underway. Stay locked in. BCJ is going to bring you everything wall to wall heading into the game and through the game and post game. So for my guys, Aaron Smith, Chad Brennell, Ryan Royer, Keegan Nicholson. I am Brent Young. Get another fantastic BBP presented by BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.